Here, I'm becoming who I want to be.
Here, I am looking toward my future.
Here, we learn from our failures so that we may soon succeed.
Here, we're passionate about learning and trying new things every day.
Here, we search for new perspectives and cultures so we can better understand the world.
Because at Darlington, we know we're in the most trusted hands.
As we discover new passions and learn more about ourselves through academics,
Athletics,
Fine arts,
and service to our community, we show our versatility as we choose different pathways to our goals.
this is our home.
we embrace challenges and persevere, even when something seems impossible.
We collaborate and create to take our place in the world.
We know that together we can make an impact.
This is our moment, our time.
Graduates today, Darlington forever.
At Darlington, we find our confidence in discovering who we are.
In the classroom
and on stage.
The opportunities are endless.
Our creativity knows no bounds as we take risks,
explore opportunities,
and stretch our minds.
Together with our teachers,
we use what we've learned to create beauty,
to tell stories,
to inspire.
We discover new passions
while allowing existing ones to flourish.
We know that we can do anything,
be anything,
achieve anything.
We give our time to something greater than ourselves.
Whether we're sketching,
singing,
writing,
or acting, we find new ways to express ourselves
and share our talents with the world.
We know that our ideas and contributions matter,
and we take great pride in that.
Because today,
because today,
because today,
because today,
because today, tomorrow, forever.
We're Darlington Tigers.
And again, we are back live at Chris Hunter Stadium by the lakeside, getting ready for the Darlington Tigers and St. Francis Knights. And I want to mention again, I just got a message from our buddy Steve Conrad, who did the Darlington games for many, many years. Everybody's been asking about you, Steve, but he was asking me why we didn't have any audio on the stream there for a little while. And that is because we had an interview with Coach Atha that played on the radio. And so we don't have that set up. That's coming from the studio at the radio station, so you can't hear that on the video feed. And I was talking to Dave Corbin, who does the video here at Darlington, about that a little bit earlier, and we're going to try to find a solution. That way, when you're hearing the audio from the interviews on the radio, you can also hear it on the video feed, because it's always great to hear from Coach Atha and get a little insight into what's been going on throughout the week and preparing for the next game and those sorts of things. And it was good to talk to him this week, because you really got a sense of relief that they were able to get through all the protocols and everything to get the season started. And it was a great week last week, and I've talked about this to everybody I've come in contact with over the last week. It was the most normal evening that probably anybody here has experienced since all the COVID-19 stuff started. It was a fantastic night at Chris Hunter Stadium last Friday.
Yeah, it certainly was, and what a great way to get their season started. And it was good to hear Coach Atha's thoughts on how they move forward from that. And there's tons to coach and prepare and get this team ready to take on a higher level of competition going forward. But that game is in the past. Now it's time to focus on the team in front of them, and tonight that's St. Francis.
Definitely so. And so now in this segment, I want to first thank our radio sponsors for making it possible for us to be here and bring you the games. Floyd Medical Center, Honeymoon Bakery. We're going to have the icing on the cake player of the game at the end of the game. Last week, the first one that we had for 2020 was Thomas Speed. Caught an interception on the first play from scrimmage, and then on the very next play on offense from the 30-yard line, he was able to catch a 30-yard pass from Patrick Shelley, who took a handoff from Jack Payne and got the first touchdown of the year for the 2020 Darlington Tigers. So he earned the heck out of that award. There were a lot of other guys that were in the running, but we felt like it was the right thing to do to give, or that Thomas had earned that.
He earned it. He earned it. You can't start a season with a bigger bang than that. It was an explosive way for them to get this thing going, and he earned that player of the game without a doubt. It'll be interesting to see who steps up tonight and who the Tigers have to lean on to get the job done.
More sponsors: Riverside Auto Group, Avery Drugs, Rome Orthopedic Center. Of course, you can hear the Rome Orthopedic Center High School football scoreboard show on the radio after the game's over, and Ware Mechanical as well. We certainly appreciate them. Well, Ian, at this point in our broadcast, we're about 6 minutes from kickoff, a little bit more. And we like to talk about keys to the game, and sometimes they're similar from week in, week out. I think that, obviously one of the things you always have to do if you're going to win a football game is win in the trenches. And I definitely think that's an area that we've seen Darlington in recent years have a strong advantage. And even though they're young this year in the trenches, they've got some sizable kids that really know how to move and are very strong players. I think we're going to see progress as the season goes on and get better and better. So you got to win in the trenches.
You do, and we talked about this in the first segment. This team has a little more size than Lakeview had last week. Not a lot of depth, but there's some big boys that are going to line up with them. So that battle's going to be a little bit tougher. And Coach Atha was talking about working on pad level and finishing your blocks. They're going to have to apply those lessons that they learned this week in this game tonight. It's going to be key.
No question about it. Always turnovers are going to be a big key in a game. I know the ball ended up on the turf more than the Tigers would have liked last week. But given the nature of how the game was going, it really wasn't that much of a factor. But if you get into a game where it's highly contested, you got a team that's going toe-to-toe with you, if you have some of those issues, they can really turn out to bite you. And so that'll be something that they've worked on cleaning up.
Sure, they were fortunate to get back on top of a couple of fumbles last week and won the turnover battle. You always want to win or at least draw when it comes to turnovers, so they'll be trying to take care of it tonight.
And then one of the things that is a key always, but it's never a problem for a team that is coached as well as you get with the Darlington Tigers, but you just got to keep getting better every single week and listening to what the coaches are saying and what they're trying to teach you. And if you were listening on the radio to Coach Atha's interview, he went down a long line of things that he felt like they needed to improve upon, and those have been things they've been focusing on this week and will continue to do so. And again, it's just like always, you see Darlington teams just continue to improve throughout the season, and I think that's obviously because they got a great coaching staff, but they also have great coachable kids that are buying into what's going on here at Darlington with the football program, and so they're going to work hard all year, and we're really going to see this team improve as the season goes on.
Yeah, they had to have worked hard in the offseason as clean as they played and executed, and the variety that they showed on offense especially. This team not one on the running game if they need to, but what we saw last week is they've got guys that they can get the ball to out on the edge, on the bubble screen. They can pass down. They can get the downfield passing game going with either Jack Payne or Patrick Shelley under center. It doesn't matter. And what's funny is, but before the season, talking to you, you're like, hey, Shelley can get out there and play wide receiver, so don't be surprised if you see some trick plays. And they started with one. So it's fun to see these guys get out there and mix it up, and I expect they'll open the playbook up just a little bit more as the weeks pass.
And that's a great observation. I was thinking the same thing, is that coming into a season like this, particularly with a young team, when you miss spring and the summer was very odd getting ready for this season, you didn't necessarily expect for them to be as crisp as they looked in that game, but they really did. You didn't see any big-time, massive special teams disasters like you saw in college football and pro football over the weekend. I mean, you did have one situation where one of the players didn't signal a fair catch, and that almost could have been an issue and things like that. But overall, they looked pretty crisp and executed at a high level. And I think that's great to see at this point of the season when you got a young team, and that just shows you how much they've they've been paying attention to their coaches and been working, as you say, to get ready for the season.
Yeah, and I expect them to improve upon that tonight. And we're going to see a strong effort from the Tigers as the captains make their way to midfield. It's a little bit different this year. 4 captains come to the sideline, and then 3 go about halfway to midfield while they send 1 out to represent the team to respect social distancing guidelines. So we'll see who gets the coin toss and who decides to receive and kick.
We have Luke Lewis out there for Darlington. Also, Tyler Watkins is one of the 4 captains tonight, as well as Davis Watson. And then you have Joey Kite, who is going to round out the 4 for the Darlington Tigers. On the other side of the field, coming towards midfield, you've got number 9, Marcellus Hazelton, number 81, Jake Heinzelman. I knew we were going to have to say that a few times tonight. Number 52, Jesse Hudgens, and then number 66, and that's going to be Manny Beasley, and that's your captains for tonight. And now, as you mentioned, Ian, you're going to have 2 captains, 1 for each team at the middle of the field as we get ready for the coin toss. Darlington is in their purple jerseys with white numbers. They've got their gray pants on like they did last week. Great-looking uniforms, Ian.
Yeah, and it's all whites on the other side when it comes to St. Francis, so both teams are looking good. Now they've got to go out there and dirty up those uniforms.
Yes, sir. And so now we will have the toss, and we'll find out who's going to kick off, who's going to receive, and all that good stuff here in a couple of moments. And in about 1.5 minutes, we're going to have kickoff, and it looks like
he's about to make the toss.
Beautiful night for football. We were mentioning, here's the toss, by the way, 78 degrees. We got a little bit of wind, not much there. Cloud cover tonight. Just a really comfortable night. It looks like St. Francis has won the toss and deferred to the second half, if I saw that correctly.
You saw it correct. So Darlington will start off with the ball, and they will be moving from right to left. So here we go. The Tigers offense gets to see the field to start this ball game.
And as we mentioned earlier, and if you were paying attention to the last game, the first game of the season, you know they started off that particular game with a bang. So we'll see if they'll be able to repeat that process here and get an early lead.
That's a tall order. I'm sure Coach Eighth will be happy if they can just get a scoring drive going.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they're not going to open up with the same play. But we're almost ready to go here from Chris Hunter Stadium. Glad you are with us where you're listening on WLAQ or the video stream here tonight. And I'm Matt Davis and Ian Griffin with me tonight with color commentary here on the game. So I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to step out for a quick 1-minute break. We'll come back for kickoff from Chris Hunter Stadium after these messages. All right, we're back by the lakeside Chris Hunter Stadium. Toe is about to meet leather here between your Darlington Tigers and the St. Francis Knights, and we're very fired up about this football game. Hope you are too. If Steve Conrad were with us tonight, Ian, he would tell you to go ahead and buckle those chin straps. And that is a good idea because we're about to have some fun here tonight on the radio.
We are, and Matt, without a doubt, now looking at this St. Francis team take the field, they have some Jimmies and Joes on their squad. They're going to be ready to give Darlington a test. We'll see how the Tigers respond. They get to set the tone as they get the ball to start the ball game.
Luke McDermott is back for the Darlington Tigers to try to return the opening kickoff. He's standing about the 4-yard line. They're going to be working from right to left on your radio dial, about to put the boot on it for the St. Francis Knights. is going to be number 81, Jake Heinzelman. He is their kicker and has done a good job for them the last couple of years. Coach Barden, in an interview I was reading online today, said some really good things about that young man. So here comes the kickoff. Toe meets leather. We're underway. He's going to kick that one over towards the 20-yard line. It'll be brought out by the Darlington Tigers. Nice spin move there by Tyler Watkins. He's going to get across the 35, about 37-yard line. Looks like where they're going to set up shop.
And they went with the pooch kick strategy there. A nice high kick that was fielded right around the between the 25 and 30-yard line by Tyler Watkins. But he was able to advance that 10, 11 yards and set Darlington up with pretty good field position. So you try to keep the big play from happening, keeping it away from the return man, but it can burn you as well. So nice field position to start the game for the Tigers.
Shotgun formation. Patrick Shelley is at quarterback for the Tigers, and they're going to have Harrison Allen in the backfield. Man goes in motion, and there's going to be a flag right there before we even start the first play.
Yeah, Darlington Tigers left tackle Luke Lewis just a little bit too pumped up on that first play, and that'll set the Tigers back 5 yards and put them at 1st and 15.
So they're going to have the ball on the 31-yard line, as you mentioned, 1st and 15, 11:53. We're just underway from Chris Hunter Stadium. High school football under the Friday night lights on just an absolutely perfect evening for football, and that's one of the great things about starting the season late is you're getting football weather earlier in the season. Shotgun formation. Shelley takes the snap. Is going to pitch left over to Allen. He finds a little bit of room on the edge. Nice stiff arm. Ball comes out as he goes out of bounds, and so he's able to pick up the penalty yards and then some. So that's going to set up a second down and probably about 9 to go.
Yeah, they got their penalty yardage back plus a yard. So 2nd and long. We'll see how they attack this.
So shotgun formation, 2nd and 9 for Darlington from their 37-yard line. 2 wide receivers to the far side, 1 to the near. They're going to swing it out to the right over in the flat, and it's picked up by the wide receiver who has dropped. Was that Thomas Speed?
It was.
I believe it was.
It was. Just a quick out pass there, and Speed was able to advance the ball. And this is a nice recovery from the Tigers. We saw this last week when they would make a mistake. They did a good job getting themselves back into 3rd and manageable. And this is right in their wheelhouse at 3rd and 3.
44-yard line, shotgun formation. Man goes in motion. And again, the motion man was Tyler Watkins. Here's the snap. Shelley hands it off. They go right up the gut with Harrison Allen, and he muscles through the pile and is able to get 1st down yardage. That's a big run, and he's a huge weapon.
And they have moved the chains, and they can lean on a guy like Harrison Allen if they need to. This is going to be a fun offense to watch this year. Just the way they can mix it up, and having a weapon like that who can get those tough yards is invaluable.
1st down and 10 for Darlington. They're almost at midfield. Shotgun formation. Patrick Shelley ready to take the snap. Looks off to the sidelines to Brent Bell, the offensive coordinator. Now he's got 3 wide receivers here on the near side, 1 on the far side. Just underway here from Chris Hunter Stadium. There's the snap. Drops back. Throws it up the middle of the field. And a little out of the reach of Thomas Speed, and he was looking for a flag from one of the officials. Maybe a little contact there, but not enough for the officials to throw a flag.
Yeah, I mean, if it was, he must have tugged on the jersey where the refs couldn't see it. I couldn't see any contact there, and the ball was on the money, but that would have been a heck of a catch by Speed. 3-step drop there for Shelley, and he showed that arm strength that we saw last week off once again tonight.
2nd down and 10 for the Tigers. Shotgun formation, 4 wide receiver set. Going out to that right side again to Speed. Breaks a tackle, stays up, picks up about 6 yards. Really positive play, setting up 3rd and perhaps manageable for the Tigers.
Yeah, a little jailbreak wide receiver screen, and they're looking to get Speed involved early. I guess they want to continue the trend he set last week with a hot start.
3rd and 4 for the Tigers. They're now across midfield. Right at about the 46-yard line in Knights territory for the first time tonight, just underway. Here's the snap. Well, we were about to have the snap to Shelley. Looks off to the sidelines, getting a play call. And he's got a wide receiver here to the near side. That is Will Bagby, a couple on the far side. Thomas Speed's one of them. I'll catch the other number here in just a couple of moments. Harrison Allen in the backfield. Here's the snap, dropping back, going to fake the handoff, going to tuck and run. Shelley's off to the races, stays up, breaks a tackle to the 30, the 20, the 15, 10, 5, gone. Darlington touchdown, Patrick Shelley on a big-time run. That's a 46-yard scamper for a touchdown.
And it looked like a design draw to me. It might have been a broken play there was a little confusion there, but I think that was a design draw for Patrick Shelley. He gets about 15 yards upfield and breaks 2 tackles and uses his legs to break away from defenders on that long touchdown run for the Tigers. And once again, the first time they have the ball, we've got fireworks.
6-0 your score, 9:42 left, opening quarter. Brinson Sumner is going to be on now to try to tack on the extra point and make this a 7-0 ball game. And from what we've seen from him over the last couple of years, I kind of like his chances. Here comes the snap. The hold will be done by Jack Payne, and we've got a whistle, and it looks like we have a flag.
Yeah, delay a game on the offense, so that'll set them back 5 yards. Should be a pretty harmless penalty in the long run.
Certainly within Brinson Sumner's range, without a doubt.
Absolutely.
So,
what a hot start for the Tigers.
Mason McKenzie is the long snapper for Darlington, does a tremendous job. And we get ready for his snap to Jack Payne. There it is, the hold, the kick. It is up. It's got plenty of leg, and it is no good. It went wide to the right.
I love it when you have to eat your words. That was not a harmless penalty. Backing them up 5 yards, and they missed the extra point. So it wasn't a flawless start to the evening, but still a great start for the Tigers as they build a 6-0 lead here with 9:42 left in the first quarter.
Darlington scores on a big run from Patrick Shelley, the quarterback, 46 yards for the touchdown with 9:42 left here in the first quarter of play. So as you mentioned, Ian, just a great start to the game for the Darlington Tigers. And the 2020 season is really off to a great start here.
It is, and we saw a nice mix as far as the play calling there. You had a couple of carries for Harrison Allen. They tried to get the ball out on the perimeter to speed. You saw a shot downfield from Shelley. It was incomplete, but a good-looking pass, and then he uses his legs to pick up the touchdown. So the Tigers are mixing it up well, and we'll see if the defense can get a stop on their first trip out on the field.
And you have to figure at some point tonight we're going to see the arm of Jack Payne. We saw him a lot in the first game of the season last week, and, man, that kid has got a great arm. So I'm looking forward to watching how he progresses in his career here as the Darlington Tigers.
That's a great comfort for a head coach to know you've got a guy who can come in and spell your starting quarterback in Shelley, so he can mix it up with those guys all night.
There's the kickoff from Brinson Sumner. It's going to sail off to the right, and a flag's going to come out, so that's going to be a penalty on the kickoff.
Yeah, and that will set St. Francis up with a nice starting field position, as that will be brought out all the way to the 35-yard line due to the kick out of bounds. So both teams start their first drives in good field position.
And that is very uncharacteristic. We've just seen a couple of kicks kind of sail on Brinson Sumner, and I would imagine that we probably won't see that much anymore in this game for the rest of the season. That's just not something that we've seen from him over the last couple of years.
No, he put most of them out the back of the end zone last week. He might have been thinking about that extra point. He's going to shake it off, though, and recover. Heck of a kicker.
So shotgun formation here for St. Francis, and their quarterback here to start the game. I'm going to catch his number in a minute. They're going to hand it off. It was Camden Lusk taking the snap. They go off to the left side with the running back Gianni Dorsey, and he ran out of real estate. A good job setting the edge by the defense.
Yeah, St. Francis comes with the counter play to start the game, and great pursuit there all the way from the secondary, and it was Patrick Shelley that came up to make the tackle.
So St. Francis will get lined up and ready to go for a 2nd down and 12 after taking a loss. They are on their own 33, working left to right. They have all white uniforms, pants, and jerseys with blue letters and numbers. There's a snap, dropping back, looking to throw here on this 2nd down play. There is company in the backfield, and he's going to be brought down, and that was a great stop by the Darlington Tigers. And number 54, Luke Lewis, coming in with the tackle.
Yeah, so far, we talked about the battle of the trenches. Darlington has dominated these first 2 plays as Lusk dropped back to pass there and had no time to look for a receiver. He was scrambling immediately. Luke Lewis gets the sack, the first of the game for the Tigers.
Lusk has them lined up in shotgun formation, 2 wide receivers on each side of the formation. So 3rd down and 14 from the 31. He drops back, throws quickly, and that's going to be an incomplete pass to the wide receiver. And it looked to me, and I'll have to see it on the replay, it looked like a pretty decent throw.
Oh, yeah, the throw was on the money. DeVell Wright just dropped that one, and you heard one of the coordinators here in the press box slam something down because it was actually set up, had a chance to gain some big yards. They just dropped it, and that's going to force a punt. It looks like Lusk is going to be the one kicking here on 4th and 14, which is a trend you're seeing more and more in football, is putting the quarterback in the punting position. guess it gives you that option to fake at any time, right?
It definitely gives the defense something to think about, but at this stage of the game where we are, don't think that's going to be the case here. And he kicks it away, and underneath it, signaling a fair catch, is going to be Luke McDermott. And again, you're going to have good field position here for the Tigers.
Yeah, they'll start on their own 32, and Lusk got good hang time on that one, so that strategy didn't backfire on St. Francis. So we'll see how the Tigers can fare in their second drive. If they do as well as their first, this thing's going to get out of hand quick.
It could, and we'll see what happens. Obviously, Darlington picked up a win in their first game of the season. 32-7 was the final score in that game. The only touchdown of the game that you would see from Lakeview Academy happened with like a minute and 30-something seconds left in the football game. But Darlington comes back to the line of scrimmage. They're going to have Patrick Shelley in at quarterback again for this series. 2 wide receivers off to the far side, 1 to the near, and we're going to have a whistle again on the first play.
Yeah, I didn't see who jumped that time, but Darlington will start its second drive as it did its first with a procedure penalty. So that gives Tommy Atha something to coach him up on, right?
Indeed. So again, first and 15. We have 8:19 left here in our opening quarter. It is 6-0, Darlington on top. They would score on a 46-yard touchdown run from Patrick Shelley, the quarterback. The extra point would be missed wide to the right after a penalty backed them up 5 yards. And so that's why we are where we are at 6-0. Shotgun formation here for this first down and 15 play. They're going to hand it off to Allen, goes up the middle, and there really wasn't anything there, but he was able to get about 3 yards just with effort there.
Yeah, good. Obviously, they scouted this team well. They know that they've got their hands full with Harrison Allen, and they are stacking the box to take him away. He has gotten some positive yardage, but they look dedicated to taking that away and maybe making Darlington beat them with the passing game.
So shotgun formation, and they're going to send 3 wide receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side. There's the snap. Dropping back is Shelley. He's got company, shakes off a tackle, stiff arms another one, and is able to run out to about the 25-yard line. So he gets some yards out of that, but things did not go as planned on that play.
Oh, that play blew up immediately, and Shelley used his athleticism to make a positive out of a negative. And it's 3rd and long, but it could be 3rd and a lot worse.
It really could. So 3rd down and 9 here for this particular situation. 7:43 left first quarter. Darlington with the football. Needing a big play to keep this drive going. 2 wide receivers to the far side, 2 to the near. And in the backfield is going to be Joseph Marion. So Patrick Shelley gets ready to take the snap. He's got it in his hands, dropping back, and we're going to have a flag on the turf again.
Let's see what the call is here.
Still hadn't seen the signal.
A little confusion out there on the field. We'll see the refs get this sorted out.
And, you know, I heard the whistle, but
Maybe
I never actually saw the flag. Did you?
Yeah, there's not a flag on the field, so it must have been a timeout.
Well, St. Francis took a timeout. Well, I tell you what, since we did not catch that, I'm not sure how much is left. It looks like they're coming back out on the field, so we're going to keep it here through this timeout. Tigers on top right now, 6-0 over the St. Francis Knights. Visiting here tonight, 2nd game in a row, 2nd game at home, but we're going to stop that trend next week. We're going to be going on the road to Heard County, which is obviously a tough team and a tough place to play, and then we'll stay on the road the next week going to Heritage Catoosa, which is up in Ringgold.
Always fun to go on a road trip, Matt. Looking forward to it.
Indeed, and you know, Darlington has an interesting situation this year in that they have 6 home games to 4 road games. Not a lot of road trips this year. Shotgun formation. Shelley takes the snap. 3rd down and 9. Puts it in the air and connects with Will Bagby, who's already made a couple of great catches this season. That's his first of the night, and it's good enough for the first down.
The timeout may have backfired on the Knights there because the protection up front for Darlington was rock solid, and that timeout gave the coaching staff for the Tigers a chance to say, hey, guys, get your head in the game. And they obviously had it there because Shelley could have had a sandwich back there. He had plenty of time, and they pick up again after backing up the chains. They're able to recover and get a first down. Very impressive with how this Darlington team focuses on making up for those mistakes.
And I got to tell you, Ian, Will Bagby making a nice grab there. He had some nice plays last week. He is a player that's really developed from last year to this year. Shotgun formation, Babby goes in motion. They're going to hand it off, give it to Allen. He stays up, breaks a couple of tackles. Big time yards after contact, picks up close to 9.
You can't stop him. You can just hope to contain him, and that's hard sometimes too. Very impressive run by Harrison Allen there as he drags defenders 9 yards and sets up a 2nd and short, and this is an offensive coordinator's favorite down distance. You can really pull all the cats out of the bag here.
Shotgun formation, you're going to have Harrison Allen flanked to the left of Patrick Shelley. 2 wide receivers to the far side. There's the snap, fakes the handoff, puts it in the air, connects with his wide receiver. That's going to be a 1st down and a very, very nice grab by Tyler Watkins. Mixing it up here with these wide receivers.
Absolutely. We've seen speed, we've seen Watkins, and we have seen Bagby all with receptions so far. So Shelley is mixing it up and looking for the open guy. And when you can do that, when you can trust multiple receivers, you can really have success in the passing game.
Shotgun formation, 1st down here for the Tigers. They're in Knight's territory. He's looking to pass. He's going to throw it over here to the left side to Tyler Watkins. That was not what he was wanting to do. That play was blown up, tried to improvise, and didn't get a lot there.
Well, you had a double play action fake there, so it's a slow developing passing play. And by the time he had made that 2nd fake, the Knights had found their way into the backfield, and Shelley did a really good job just finding Watkins and not ending up taking a sack, but they were able to wrangle him behind the line of scrimmage, setting up a 2nd and 14.
So the Tigers go back to the line of scrimmage, which is now at the 44-yard line in Knights territory. As you mentioned, 2nd and 14, shotgun formation. They're going to fake the handoff, going to pitch it to Allen, goes around the edge, and he's able to find a little room, bulldozes his way down to the 30-yard line, and is very close to a 1st down.
He is, and that play looked snuffed out. I mean, it was a really nice reverse, but the Knights actually played it really well. Number 4, Jabril Muhammad was in position to make the tackle, but Allen made him miss and then did his stereotypical bulldozer work to pick up the 1st down. Or wait, it's 3rd and 7, sorry.
So 3rd down and 7, shotgun formation, 2 wide receivers on each side. He's going to look to throw here on this long 3rd down play. He's in trouble, puts it in the air, and that is going to be a drop there by the wide receiver. Kind of had to drop it into him. It was good coverage, but great move there by the wide receiver to have a shot at that play, but just couldn't hang on to the football.
It wasn't. It was Cam Robinson on the cover as Thomas Speed went downfield, and Cam actually got a finger on that ball. So we'll give him credit for a pass breakup there. Shelley moved around well, moved his feet well, went through his progressions and had a man, but that was a really well-defended play.
So Darlington will go back to the drawing board here with 4th down and 7, and it looks like they're going to punt it away. So Brinson Sumner on to punt the ball here for the Darlington Tigers. The kick is in the air, a spiraling kick that's going to drop at about the 20 and takes a very nice Darlington bounce inside the 10. That worked out really well.
It did. And I'm telling you what, Sumner, when he punts, he doesn't kick it a long way, but his hang time is excellent, man. He really knows how to spin the ball. We saw him pin Lakeview inside the 10-yard line last week. He's done it again tonight, so the Knights will have to start deep in their own territory on their 2nd drive. But let's give the Knights a little credit there. They stepped up on defense, made some plays, and were able to get the ball back.
Definitely. I mean, this is one of those situations. We talked about it before the game. It's a young team, but Frank Barden and his coaching staff, they know how to coach a football team. We know that they would present some challenges perhaps in this game, but Darlington's played a good game so far, came up a little short there on that drive. But you're right, St. Francis has really been impressive so far.
Yeah, they are battling with Darlington in the trenches now on their first offensive drive. The Tiger defensive line was dominant. We'll see if St. Francis had a chance to get over there and figure out what was going on and see if they can perform a little bit better on the offensive line. If they don't, it's going to be a really long night for their offense because Darlington they were all man-eaters out there that first possession.
So we get ready for the St. Francis Knights to set up shop. Definitely their worst field position by far. This is their 2nd drive. They're going to start at their own 10, so they've got 90 yards to go if they want to try to put up some points here on this particular drive. We've got 5:30 left here in our opening quarter with Darlington leading this one 6-0. So lining up is going to be Camden Lusk at quarterback, and he is going to be in shotgun formation with a wide receiver to the near side, one to the far, working left to right. He's going to hand it off immediately and try to get a few yards and maybe got 2 yards on the play.
Yeah, I think that was a direct snap to Gianni Dorsey on that play. A little wildcat, but he had Camden Lusk, the usual quarterback, set up as the halfback to his right. Didn't go anywhere. Once again, Darlington is winning the battle up front.
And we're going to talk about some of those guys up front there for the Darlington Tigers. You have Luke Lewis. Let's see, who else?
Christian
do we have?
McClooney.
Christian
He's
McClooney.
doing a really nice job.
And, of course, we've got big number 72, DJ Johnson up there. So the front, as you mentioned there, for this Darlington defense, doing a fantastic job, and it looks like we got a penalty.
Yeah, we do. So I guess there was a procedure. Let's see what they call. Yeah, half the distance to the goal on that one. I'm not sure what the call was, man. I missed it. So it'll be 1st and 15.
So they're going to be on the 5-yard line, talking about St. Francis trying to get themselves out of jail. And with the ball, quarterback is Camden Lusk getting ready to take the snap. There it is. He's in his own end zone. He's going to hand it off right away. Gets into the hands of Dorsey, and he gets a pretty decent run there, getting him away from that goal line, almost back to the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and Darlington's doing a great job just flying around with the ball. You had almost every player from the secondary coming up to put a hat on the ball carrier there and not allow him to get to the second level. So good pursuit there from the Tigers defense, and that puts the Knights at a 2nd and 9, but that did get them out of the hole a little bit.
It did. 4:49 left here, first quarter. Knights go back to the drawing board here for 2nd down and 9. Have not been able to generate any offense so far. Went 3 and out on their first drive. Shotgun formation, Camden Lusk takes the snap. It's a snap off to his right side, and he has to just fall on it to avoid a total disaster. But that was a tough situation there for the quarterback.
Yeah, it's been butterfingers for Lusk so far. He's had trouble handling the snaps, and on that one he tried to pick it up to see if he could still make a play and almost ended up turning it over. So he was lucky to get back on top of that one. That would have set the Tigers up with 1st and goal at the 3-yard line. Instead, the Knights have it 3rd and 18 at their own 3.
High school football night for you on WLAQ. Stay tuned after the game for the Honeymoon Bakery Icing on the Cake Player of the Game, sponsored by Honeymoon Bakery on Broad Street, and also the Room Orthopedic Center High School Football Scoreboard Show. Big 3rd down and 18 for St. Francis out of their own end zone. They're going to hand it off and see if they can get a little room for the punter, and they're able to do that, but only got it back out to about the 9-yard line. So Darlington's going to have good field position after this punt.
And so far, Matt, the biggest difference I see, there's some size on this Knights squad, but the speed factor is definitely going to be a problem as this game wears on. Darlington is beating them to the ball and to the point of attack. It has been an impressive effort so far by this Darlington defense.
Here comes the snap to the quarterback, who's also serving as the punter. Bad snap. He picks it up. He is almost tackled in the end zone, and it is going to be a safety for the Darlington Tigers.
I think it's a touchdown. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he didn't. You're right. It is a touchdown.
Yeah.
He just picked the ball up, and we got a touchdown for the Darlington Tigers. So it's 12-0.
I tell you what, Camden Lusk, only a sophomore at quarterback, but that was a huge mistake. Take the 2 points. Don't give up the 6. And that he could have taken the safety, but instead he tried to shovel the ball, and it was recovered in the end zone.
I was trying to pick
by
up
the Tigers.
who picked it up. Did you see who grabbed that?
I did not. We'll
They
get
throw
that
it towards
figured
the
out.
end zone.
Wow.
And that's going to be getting that extra point back. That's a pass to Thomas Speed. So now it's 14-0.
And that was some trickeration there on the extra point as they lined up and did a halfback pass to Thomas Speed. And it is 14-0 Tigers.
And 3:13 left here in the opening quarter. So that is a big turn of events there on the touchdown. And so, therefore, Darlington's up by 2 scores here early from Chris Hunter Stadium.
And on that 2-point conversion, you had Jack Payne toss the ball over to Bowden Owens, who kind of shoveled it forward to Thomas Speed for 2 points. So once again, that's 2 weeks in a row we've seen some trick plays from the Tigers.
So the Darlington Tigers are going to tee it up. Brinson Sumner is going to kick it back to the Knights, and they'll go back to the drawing board, and they've dug themselves quite a hole here early in this game.
Yeah, they have, and just a sophomore mistake there, giving up the touchdown. He was trying to make a play, and the Tigers took advantage of that mistake and then tacked on 2 points to put a little more separation between them and the Knights.
And we'll see during our next break if we can catch the name of the young man that fell on that ball and gave Darlington the touchdown. Here's the kickoff from Brinson Sumner, and that's going to be heading towards the goal line, bounces out of bounds, and there's another kickoff out of bounds, which again is uncharacteristic for Brinson.
Yeah, you're up 14-0, but you're giving the coaching staff plenty of ammunition for the off week. The penalties have been frequent. They have not hurt this team in this game, but they certainly will down the line, so they'll have to get that cleaned up. As Darlington, I think, has already racked up well over 60 yards in penalties.
And coming up at halftime, we will have some statistics for you tonight. I spoke with Stacy Norton, who's doing the statistics for the Darlington Tigers this year, and he is going to email them to us at the half and at the end of the game so that we're able to relay those to you during our halftime show and then in the post-game show as well. So we appreciate Stacy agreeing to do that. It's going to be very helpful. Shotgun formation here for St. Francis. The quarterback takes the handoff and gives it over to Gianni Dorsey, and finds a little bit of room, but only about a yard there for him.
Yeah, they're really having a hard time getting past the line of scrimmage. Darlington's just doing a great job beating them off the ball. It's going to be, like I said, it's going to be a long night for them if they can't get this figured out. And they really have some size up front. I mean, these are some big guys that they're trotting out there to block. They just are getting beaten by the speed of the Tigers.
Joe Marion with the tackle there for the Tigers. Shotgun formation, that brings up 2nd down and 9 here for St. Francis, working left to right. Getting ready to take the snap is their quarterback, Camden Lusk. He's got 3 wide receivers on the far side. A bad snap, and it is dropped, and he tries to fall on it. I think the Tigers may have picked this one up, and that is a disaster for
Lusk
St. Francis.
He got back on top of it, but he is having a rough start to this ball game. That's not on him necessarily, but when he did have a chance to cover the ball, he had a really hard time wrangling it in. But that's a 25-yard loss, puts them back on their own 10. That's a tough way to start a drive. Lusk is going to really have to work on catching the ball, receiving the ball from the center here.
3rd down and 35 yards to go from their own 10. St. Francis gets ready to take the snap. Camden Lusk takes the snap, handles it, drops back, looking to throw, puts it up the middle of the field. That's almost intercepted by Thomas Speed. That would have been his 2nd interception. I believe that was Speed, or was that McDermott?
That was Speed. It was Speed that made the play.
Yeah, you're right. It was Speed.
And that time, Lusk actually, he just didn't see Speed coming up from his safety position on that play. He had time in the pocket as I think the Tigers have figured out they can get to him just rushing 3. So they dropped into coverage and about had an interception there.
So Lusk back in the end zone here with 4th down. He's going to punt it away here for St. Francis. There's the kick. This one's coming over towards the Darlington sidelines, drops in, takes a pretty good bounce there for St. Francis, and he gets it out to about the 46-yard line. So Darlington's going to start this drive on the 46-yard line, already in Knights territory.
Yeah, it's been a disastrous start for the St. Francis Knights. They just cannot get anything going, having problems with the fundamentals, but the defense did look a little bit better in Darlington's 2nd possession. The 2nd touchdown was scored on a turnover, so we'll see if the Knights can continue their momentum or if Darlington can get back on the fast track that they started on with their opening touchdown drive.
Darlington 14, St. Francis 0, 129 left here in the opening quarter. Darlington getting ready to set up shop on the 46 in Knights territory with their offense back on the field. Shotgun formation. Patrick Shelley, 2 wide receivers to the far side, 1 to the near. There's the snap. They're going to give it to Allen. Allen's going to pick up a chunk of yards, probably about 4 yards, almost down to the 40.
Yeah, nice pickup on 1st down. You will take that all day. Just a little off-tackle run there. Shelley handed it off to Allen from that shotgun position, setting up a 2nd and 6.
So the Tigers back to the line of scrimmage. 2 wide receivers to the far side, 1 to the near. Shelley getting ready to take the snap, and that's going to be encroachment on the St. Francis defense, and it's going to spot the Darlington Tigers 5 yards.
Yeah, Jacob Hefner was trying to fire off the ball, but he made contact when he hopped into the neutral zone, and that'll be a free 5 yards for the Tigers. And again, you've got that great down and distance. 2nd one, last time they took a shot. We'll see if they dial that up again.
So the Tigers come up 1st down and only 1 yard to go. Patrick Shelley in a quarterback. He's got 2 wide receivers to the far side, 1 on the near side. Harrison Allen is in the backfield, and also you've got Darius Smith at that sniffer back position. There's a snap. They give it to Allen, and he's able to break through a hole. Good job by the offensive line to create that hole. He gets the first down distance and then some. That was a big-time run.
And you've got the defense on their heels there. I think that time the Knights dropped into coverage, and they elected to go with the draw play, and Harrison Allen was able to get a huge hole to run through, and the Tigers' offense is just rolling.
Shotgun formation, 2 wide receivers far side, 1 to the near. Bagby's here on the near side. Shelley getting ready to take the snap, looking off to the sidelines, getting some signals. And here comes the snap. He's going to hand it off. They're going to go with Bethel on that play. Wasn't a lot of room there for him to run, so he might have got a yard or 2 at the most.
Yeah, they went with the read option that time, and the pursuit by the ends on both sides of the ball for the Knights was excellent. That play was going nowhere fast, but 2nd and 9, we'll see what they dial up here.
Offensive line doing a great job tonight for Darlington. Christian McClooney, Luke Lewis, of course, Davis Watson. We have just ended the first quarter. And Darlington on top 14-0 over St. Francis. We're going to send it back to the studio for a 1-minute timeout on the radio. And we're glad you are with us tonight. We'll be back for the start of the second quarter after these messages. We'll be back. Yep, we're back at Chris Hunter Stadium by the Lakeside. Darlington on top 14-0. Ian, about to start the second quarter of action.
Yeah, excited to see what the Tigers offense can do here to start the second quarter. A lot of fireworks in the first, a lot of problems for St. Francis. Things have been going Darlington's way so far.
2nd and 9, shotgun formation. Shelley's going to send it out to Will Bagby on the far side, and he's able to make the grab and gets hit after about a pickup of about 5 yards. So another nice catch after being targeted, of course, by Will Bagby.
Yeah, he was able to get the ball upfield. They've got it into 3rd and manageable, 3rd and 5 here as they're on the Knights' 23-yard line. These are the conversions you have to have. You want to sustain these drives. You want touchdowns, not field goals. We'll see what they dial up on this play.
2 wide receivers on each side of the formation, 3rd down, and that's going to be a whistle. I think it's on Darlington.
It is. It looks like, yep, it's a false start on the Tigers, so that puts them back in 3rd and 10. Darius Smith was in the backfield with Patrick Shelley as he comes in to spell Harrison Allen. He's going to stay on the field.
So shotgun formation, and Bethel's going to come over here to the near side. So you're going to have 3 wide receivers on the near side, 1 on the far side. And Shelley in shotgun with 3rd down and 9. Here's the snap. Dropping back is Shelley. Looks off to his right. Tucks, runs, and he stays up and gets it across the 25 down to about the 23-yard line. So that's going to set up 4th down and about 5 here for the Tigers.
Yeah, it was really a one-read route there, and it wasn't there. So Shelley had the wherewithal to pull the ball down, get upfield. They picked up the penalty yardage they lost, and we'll see if – I think they're sending out the kicking team here. They are. They're going to let Brinson Sumner swing at it. It'll be a 42-yard attempt.
And it's off from the far hash. And as you mentioned, 32 yards, so they'll get it teed up and just about ready to go. Handling the hold is going to be Jack Payne. Long snapper is Mason McKenzie. So we wait on the snap here with 10:22 left in the second quarter. The kick is up after a good hold, and it is up and through.
Right.
tacking on the 3 points, 17-0, Darlington Tigers. And for Brinson Sumner, who's had kind of a shaky start to the game, to be able to get that field goal from the far hash and punch it in from 32 yards, that's going to get his confidence back, and I think we're going to see him kind of locked in the rest of the way.
Yeah. Playing kicker, it's a unique position, man.
It is.
It is a mental battle, and he missed the extra point. He had 2 kickoffs that went out of bounds to start the game. The good kickers can shake that off, go out and bang home a 42-yard field goal like Brinson Sumner just did, giving the Tigers a 17-0 win. Man, having a weapon like that, so huge. It's going to be really important that he maintains his confidence as they take on tougher opponents down the road.
So the Tigers will get ready to tee it up and kick it back to the St. Francis Knights, who've really had trouble in this game generating any kind of offense. They have had to punt on every single drive, and I don't believe they picked up a first down.
They've been lucky to punt. Yeah. I mean, they've had a hard time holding on to the football. So we'll see if they can. A first down would be an achievement at this point.
So here comes the kick from Sumner from the 40. It's going to be end over end. This one's going back into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback and make them go 80 yards.
Somebody's got their swagger back.
Yeah, I believe so.
Good-looking kick there. That's where you want them starting. On the 20 without a chance to return. And St. Francis will trot out here for their 4th possession of the game. Haven't been able to generate much as the speed has killed for the Darlington Tigers. They have not allowed anything in the running game, and the passing game has been very shaky. So they'll see if they can get their offense the ball back for another scoring opportunity.
Shotgun formation. Quarterback for St. Francis in this game so far has been Camden Lusk. He's got 1 back with him in the backfield, 4 wide receivers. He's going to hand it off to Dorsey, who goes off to the left side, but just no room there for the offense to move the football.
None. I mean, the penetration by this Darlington defensive line has been intense throughout the first quarter and now continuing into the second as they lost 2.5 yards on first down. That is not the direction you want to go.
So 13-yard line is where the St. Francis Knights will get set up here for this next play, or excuse me, 17-yard line, I should say. So 2nd down and 13 to go here for the Knights. Camden Lusk getting ready to take the snap with Dorsey in the backfield and 4 wide receivers working right to left. And here comes the snap to Lusk. He's dropping back, looking for a wide receiver, goes off to that right side, is able to connect, but also connecting is the Darlington defense, and they're going to take a heavy loss.
Yeah, great pursuit there. Lusk pump faked and had a man in his face, had to throw that one off his back foot. I didn't catch the number of the kid who caught that. It was 44. So the receiver was Jackson Westmoreland for the Knights. Did a good job catching that ball and holding on to it because the defender was there to tackle him immediately. And, God, they lost another 4 yards there, so that sets up a 3rd and 16.
And I believe that was Tyler Watkins with the tackle there for the Tigers. So shotgun formation, as you mentioned, 3rd and 16. Ball is on the 14-yard line. St. Francis in their own territory going to throw one out and to the right side to the same wide receiver, Jackson Westmoreland, and the defense closes and is able to stop him before any gain.
Yeah, a little bubble screen there as they're looking to get the ball out of Lusk's hands quickly because of the pursuit of the Darlington defense. But the corners are glued to these receivers. They're not giving them any room to operate. That was no gain, and that'll be 4th and 16. And Lusk will stay on the field to punt the ball away.
And that was Watkins again. So we wait on the punt from Lusk, and it's going to be another 3 and out here for the Knights. The kick is in the air, and that one's going to go off to the sideline at about the 34. So Darlington's going to start with really good field position this time.
Yeah, I don't even think he got 20 yards on that punt. So the Tigers will set up on the 32-yard line. Ironically, that's the yard line Brinson Sumner booted that field goal through from on the last drive. So, yeah, you can't ask for much better field position as the Tigers look to extend their lead here midway through the second quarter.
So the Tigers will go back to the line of scrimmage, leading this one 17-0. Coming in off the sidelines is going to be Joseph Marion, bringing in the play call along with his teammate Patrick Shelley after a little conference with Brent Bell, offensive coordinator, on the sidelines. Shotgun formation, Patrick Shelley's going to line up 2 wide receivers on the far side, 1 on the near. In the backfield is going to be Harrison Allen. There's a snap, and there is going to be a little bit of a mix-up on the snap, and he just has to cover.
Yeah, it was a read option play there, and Shelley just had a little bit of trouble handling the snap, did a nice job falling on it and avoiding disaster, but they will lose 3 yards, setting up 2nd and 13 from the 35-yard line.
Luke McDermott and Thomas Bethel in for this package as you have Allen off the field now here for the Tigers. Shelley still in at quarterback. He's going to send 3 wide receivers to the near side, 2 on the far side. It looks like he's going to set up with an empty backfield here for this 2nd down and 13 from the Tiger 35. Here's the snap. Going to put it over to the left side, and that's going to be a drop.
Yeah, that was actually set up. Could have been a big gain, but just couldn't haul it in. And was that Leo?
Leo Gabo.
Leo Gabo. Couldn't quite haul that one in. I think he'd still be running had he held onto the ball, and maybe all that space in front of him was what got him distracted.
Will Bagby back in for this package. Coming in is going to be Darius Smith as well, sophomore running back, who's going to be back in the backfield here with Patrick Shelley here for a 3rd down and 13 from the Darlington 35. So Shelley waits on the snap with 2 wide receivers on each side, and he drops back looking to throw up the middle of the field, is able to connect with Bethel, and that is going to be close to a 1st down, Ian.
Yeah, just a nice little curl route there. Good protection up front by the Darlington offensive line, allowed Shelley to progress through his reads. He settled in and fired and found Thomas Bethel, who has been really impressive, man. The guy can step in and play running back. He's also been playing that slot position in the wide receiver. What do we got here? They're going to measure?
It was very close, but it looks like from the spot it's going to be a little bit short.
Yeah, they are going to bring out the chain gang. Great play by Bethel there. And, man, this Darlington offense has a lot of reliable weapons.
They really do, and then we talked about this in the pregame about the previous game and how, the ball ended up in the hands of a lot of different Tigers throughout that game, and that's carried over to this game. And, when you're in a situation where you got a lot of young players and you have a couple of games that are against teams that you're going to be extremely competitive against, like they've been against St. Francis tonight and were last week against Lakeview Academy, to get those guys some reps in a game situation is just very valuable for this team.
Absolutely, Matt. And it's nice to see. We didn't get this a lot last week. They ran the ball a lot last week. This week, Shelley's getting some work in the passing game, and he's really comfortable. Shows that he really trusts his receiving corps as a whole. As he's spreading the ball around, he's progressing through his reads nicely. We've been very impressed with the downfield passing game from the Tigers this week.
So the Tigers are going to bring in a different package here for this 1st down, this 4th and 1. Having a hard time getting it out today. They're going to bring in their power set with Jack Payne under center. He's going to hand it off. The ball's on the turf, and it's going to be picked up by, well, we'll see when they come up from the pile. It looked like St. Francis should have had it.
They should have.
I'm not sure they got it.
And they did.
They did. Yep, so that's a turnover for the Darlington Tigers.
Yeah, disaster strikes there. You bring in the jumbo set, and it just was a bad exchange there. Harrison Allen couldn't get his hands around it, and it kind of bounced off his knee and propelled forward, and there were a ton of white jerseys around the ball. Had Darlington come out with that one, it would have been a miracle. Yeah, let's give a little credit to this Knights defense. They're really fighting. They're trying to make it hard on Darlington's offense as their offense has not been able to pick up anything. Matter of fact, we'll get the official stats at halftime, but I'd be willing to wager right now they're in the negative.
Well, St. Francis is going to set up on the Darlington, or actually on the St. Francis 16, so not going to have good field position here. So I guess that's the only silver lining there if you're Darlington. Shotgun formation as we get ready for Lush to take the snap. He's going to fake the handoff, run the football up the middle, and not going to be any running lanes for him there.
No, he picked up a yard, but it was shut down at that point. As again, this speed of the Tigers that advantage is apparent as we move forward through this ball game.
So that's going to bring up a 2nd down. He might have got 2 yards out of that, so let's just say a long 8 here for this next play for the St. Francis Knights. Really struggling in this game to get the offense going. 17-0, Darlington leads it. Turn the ball over on their previous possession. And now Lush waits on the snap with a 3 wide receiver set. He's going to throw it off to the right side. Wide open receiver is going to make a nice grab, and he's going to get a 1st down. That's really the best offensive play we've seen of the night for St. Francis.
Yeah, and they took advantage of the cornerback was playing about 10 yards off, so it was just a little quick out pattern there, had a huge cushion to work with, and the receiver was able to turn it upfield and pick up about 14 yards. So definitely the longest play from scrimmage tonight for St. Francis.
Johnny Dorsey, by the way, was the receiver on that play. Shotgun formation, 2 wide receivers to the near side, 1 on the far side. As we wait for Lusk to take the snap, he's going to hand it off. Dorsey in the backfield this time, goes off to the right side. He's definitely the most athletic kid on this team. He picks up about 8 yards.
Yeah, he really hasn't had a hole to run through all night. That time he got a crease, and he was able to pick up 7 or 8 yards on first down. So a little positive momentum for the Knights here as time ticks away down to almost the 5-minute mark in the second quarter. Can they keep that momentum going?
So 2nd down and 2. Ball is on the 39-yard line as St. Francis tries to work their way into Darlington territory. Quarterback Lusk getting ready to take the snap with 2 wide receivers to the near side, 1 on the far side. 1 man in the backfield, high snap. He's able to haul it in and goes off to the left side, so avoids disaster. But boy, did he get punished by a couple of Darlington Tigers.
Yeah, led by number 24, Luke Overbay. They came up, and it wasn't a kind greeting for Camden Lusk, who has taken some lumps tonight. But that time, high snap, he was at least able to handle it. And I think he may have picked up a yard, setting up a 3rd and short.
And Patrick Shelley was also a part of that collision there. And that had to ring his bell a little bit.
Oh, yeah, you could hear it up here in the booth, so it was a heck of a hit.
2 wide receivers to the far side, 1 on the near here for St. Francis as they get ready for a 3rd down and 1 from their own 40-yard line as Lusk is getting set to take the snap. He's going to go off to the left side and going to run the football. Good block there by Dorsey to spring him loose and give him the opportunity to get the 1st down.
Good vision from Lusk as well as he made his first cut and it wasn't there. And he was able to get out to the outside and pick up a 1st down and keep the momentum rolling here on this drive.
So 2 first downs on this drive, the only 1st downs of the game for St. Francis so far. And now they're going to have a 1st down at the 44-yard line, still in their own territory, trying to get it down the field into Tiger territory.
And this is just what the doctor ordered for the Knights. They're able to milk the clock a little bit here and maybe slow the momentum of the Tigers after that turnover on their last drive.
Lusk takes the snaps, going to throw out a pass and connects with a wide receiver. L. Geiger stays up, breaks a couple of tackles, and is able to get down to inside the 25-yard line. So a big-time play, and they're looking pretty crisp on this drive.
They are, Matt, and they've made some adjustments here. Darlington was really putting a lot of pressure when they were trying the 3-step drop. So at this point, it's pretty much snap, step, and fire the ball. And Lusk has found some success here, and Geiger looks like a heck of an athlete, man. He almost took that one to the house. I thought he was about to break away.
Sophomore wide receiver, and now you're going to set up a 1st and 10 as St. Francis has it on Darlington's side of the field at the 28-yard line, trying to get it into the red zone. Lusk has them lined up with 2 wide receivers on the near side, 1 on the far side, going right to left. There's a snap. Lusk is going to fake the handoff, runs off to the right side, and there is a wall waiting on him.
Yes, there it
and
is.
That's probably going to be no gain.
Yeah, great play there by the defensive line there. It was Darius Smith and DJ Johnson on the tackle. Lusk tried to get out on the edge, and those two said, "Not so fast, my friend."
No. Nothing there for Lusk. That sets up a 2nd down and 10 with the ball still on the 28. We've got 2 minutes and 56 seconds left in the first half, so moving right along in this game, 17-0, Darlington leading it. We'll give you some scores at halftime courtesy of Rome Orthopedic Center, and after the game, it'll be the Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake player of the game. Shotgun formation. Lusk is going to throw the right side. Darlington Tigers had a man that got in the backfield, got his hands up. That was Tyler Watkins, and affected that pass big time.
It was. Lusk was, again, trying to get the ball out quick. What do you do on defense when the quarterback's delivering quickly? Get your hands up, knock it down. Great play there by Tyler Watkins as Lusk had his man open. Marcellus Hazelton was out there on the flat. That would have been an easy 1st down. So great play there by Watkins.
So Lusk will line them up with a big 3rd down play, and they were able to string together enough plays to get down on Darlington's side of the field. But right now this drive is kind of blowing up in their face, so they're going to try to right some wrongs on this 3rd down play. 2 wide receivers to the near side, 1 on the far side. Lusk in shotgun takes the snap. He's dropping back, looking to throw, rolls to his right, and puts it in the air down the sidelines. Wide receiver jumps up for it as well as a couple of Tigers, and it's incomplete.
Yeah, he really he had his hands on that one. I thought that was going to be a catch. It was Gianni Dorsey that Luss threw it up to. And we're watching the replay here. It was a little bit of a dying quail, but Dorsey had his hands on it, and then Thomas Speed had a chance to possibly intercept it, but it fell harmlessly to the turf. And it's 4th and 10. You got to think they're going to take a shot here.
Absolutely. As you mentioned, 4th and 10, quarterback. Lusk is looking off to the sidelines. They're going to take a timeout and think about this one a little bit. So we're going to take a timeout as well. Darlington 17, St. Francis 0, 2:29 left first half. We'll step out for 1 minute on WLAQ.
I think he scored that touch. I think he scored that touchdown, 50. I think.
Okay. Well,
we'll find out, though.
All right, we're back on Darlington football, and they did try to take a shot on that 4th down play, and the quarterback put it in the air. It's going to be an incomplete pass.
Yeah, he went all Reggie Ball on that one and threw it out of bounds on 4th down. Mr. Lusk, you got to keep it in the field of play to have a shot on 4th down, but that one sailed harmlessly out of bounds by about 5 yards, and Darlington will take over. Or do we have a penalty?
Yeah, it looks like it was a penalty against Darlington on that play.
Wow, that's a hold. So that's not just a little penalty there. That is an automatic first down for the Knights and sets them up with a 1st and 10 at the 13. So the defense had done a nice job slowing the momentum, but the penalties continue to haunt the Tigers here in the first half.
So a fresh set of downs, and now they are in the red zone on the 18. Shotgun formation. Luss takes the snap, swings it out to the right side. Is able to connect with a wide receiver, and they got about 7 or 8 yards on that play.
And Marcellus Hazelton, one of the very few seniors on this St. Francis team, makes the catch there, gets upfield. And the Knights are knocking on the door with 2 minutes to play in the first half.
And, you know, if you see St. Francis able to score here 17-7, that's definitely a ball game, especially the way things have gone for most of the first half.
It feels like it should be a lot worse than it is, but if they could score a touchdown here, they've got some real positive momentum going into the locker room.
Shotgun formation, 2 wide receivers set, 2 to the near side, 2 on the far side. They're going to throw it off to the right side. I think it went off somebody's back.
It did, and
Flag
it should.
came in.
I think that'll be an eligible receiver downfield. Number 66 for the Knights, Manny Beasley, got hit right in the back of his shoulder pads, and he had drifted well beyond 3 yards past the line of scrimmage. So that should be what that flag is. As the referees are having a little powwow here.
Still waiting on the official call here, but
pass interference. Interesting. Interesting. Huh? It was an awkward play, real quick play fake, and then, you know, as the trend has been, Luss was trying to get the ball out quickly to counter this pass rush. Oh, okay. There we go. Ineligible receiver downfield. The ref did motion for pass interference, though. You saw that, right?
Saw it,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was an ineligible receiver, and it was on number 66. That's Manny Beasley, who got hit in the back with the ball, so that made it easier to throw the flag.
So it's going to be 3rd down here with the ball on the 10-yard line. Shotgun formation, 2 wide receivers on the near side, 1 on the far. They're going to hand it off, give it to Dorsey, and he finds a little room, breaks a couple of tackles. He's going to be hauled out of bounds, and it's going to be 4th down and short.
we'll see how many yards did he pick up on that play, Matt?
I'd say about 7.
Really? Okay, so it's going to set up a 4th and 2. I mean, you're going for it here. This is your opportunity. I don't think a field goal really does the trick here, and I'm not sure how solid the kicking game is for St. Francis.
DJ Johnson checks back into the game. Coming off the field for the Tigers is going to be Luke Overbay. So 4th down and 2 as St. Francis gets ready to go back to the line of scrimmage, looking off to the sidelines, getting the play from the coach. And they're going to have Dorsey in the backfield, 2 wide receivers near side, 1 far side. And we wait for the quarterback to take the snap. It's almost over his head. He does handle it, throws it towards the end zone, and intercepted by Patrick Shelley. Kind of tapped it, went up in the air. He bobbled it in his hands, is able to haul it in. That was a nice play.
And the snap issues continue to haunt St. Francis, but Luss did a good job wrangling that one and at least putting the ball in play. That's what you have to do. And Shelley did a great job there. It was tip drill central as he was able to bobble that ball around and pull it in and get a foot down. So that sets the Tigers up at their own 3-yard line with 1:18. They do have all 3 of their timeouts. We'll see how creative they get. You don't want to risk a turnover deep in your own territory, so I would expect some conservative play calling here to close out the half.
St. Francis comes up short, turns the ball over to Darlington. They have it on their own 3, so they're going to have to get it out of their own end zone. Patrick Shelley lines them up, shotgun. He's got to hand it off to Harrison Allen, which is kind of what you expected they would do on that play. Picks up a few yards. That gives them a little bit of room to work here away from their goal line a little bit.
Yeah, and I think you hand the ball off a few more times. If you pop one, maybe you try to go into your 2-minute drill. But I think with the sloppy nature of this game, Coach Ath is probably going to be happy just to take this one to the locker room at 17-0.
No question about it. So we have 2nd down and 6 for the Tigers with the ball around the 7-yard line, and they're just going to let as much time go off the clock as they can before they snap the ball, just trying to get to the locker room without any kind of disaster here. They're going to hand it off again to Allen, finds a seam. He stays up, gets it down to the 24. Now you're looking at a little bit different of a situation.
Well, let's see. Do they elect to take a timeout? They do. All right. I mean, this is an opportunity to work on it. You got out of the shadow of your own goal line. Now out at around the 30-yard line?
Not quite.
Not quite. So why not? Why not get out there and get a little practice in here on your 2-minute drill? Or do we have a penalty?
Yeah, it looks like this one may be coming back.
Oh, and the penalties have killed Darlington.
A hold on Darlington. So
they have really plagued the Tigers tonight, and in all phases of the game. You've had penalties on special teams. You've had penalties on offense. You had that big holding call by the defense that gave St. Francis new life on 4th and 10. I imagine the locker room will be animated.
Probably so. Definitely a lot of mistakes here in this first half. They're up 17-0, and in a lot of ways it feels like it should be a much bigger deficit for St. Francis. But so Darlington will go back to the line of scrimmage. We have 33.2 seconds left on the clock here of the first half, and stay tuned at halftime. We'll talk a little bit about players that might be in the running at the end of the game for the Honeymoon Bakery Icing on the Cake Player of the Game. And we'll also go over some other area games.
A lot of good ball games tonight in the region, so it's going to be exciting to see how those shake out. The matchups this season have been fantastic.
A lot of close games, a lot of excitement so far in the first few weeks of football here in high school football in the state of Georgia, for sure.
We waited for it. We're getting everything we bargained for, though, man. It's been great.
So the Tigers go back to the line of scrimmage here with 20 seconds left. They're going to snap the ball, hand it off to Allen. He stays up, breaks a couple of tackles, and gets it across the 25 down to about the, well, actually, I should say, about the 23-yard line.
Yeah, nice run there by Allen. But,
so that'll be a first down.
Yeah, it looks like the Tigers will let this time expire and get to the locker room with a 17-0 lead.
Well, that puts a wrap on the first half. Darlington up 17-0 over St. Francis after one half of play. We're going to send it back to the studio for a round of commercials, and then we'll come back, talk over the first half a little bit later in our halftime show. We'll go over some scores courtesy of Rome Orthopedic Center of other area games. But we're glad you're with us tonight on WLAQ, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. Yes, sir. More football for you coming up in just a little bit. We've got 17 minutes and 18 seconds left in our halftime period. At halftime, Darlington on top 17-0. But I think that if Coach Atha were with us right now at halftime, he would say it was not pretty, and it wasn't. There were definitely some good things that happened in the first half, but there were definitely some things they're going to be working on for sure.
Yeah, penalties that they were able to overcome at times, but and really, most of the time they overcame those penalties, but a lot of them, and in every phase of the game, they gave fresh life to the Knight offense on a 4th and 10 where there was a defensive holding. They've had 2 kickoffs go out of bounds, a lot of procedure penalties, and then the real killer was the turnover there on 4th and 1. They bring out the jumbo set. They had problems handling the handoff and turned that ball over as they were looking to march in and go up by a score of 24-0. Instead, it's 17-0, and you gave a little life to the Knights. So I'm sure there's a lot of colorful discussion going on right now.
No question about it. And as far as the St. Francis Knights are concerned, they open up the game with 4 3-and-outs, I believe, before on their 5th drive. They were finally able to get some first downs, get a positive drive put together, got the ball down the field. It looked like they were going to score, and then an interception was thrown by the quarterback. Patrick Shelley was able to pick that one off. And then, of course, time would basically expire to end the first half. So all in all, to be up 17-0 at this point, you'd hope that your lead was a little bit bigger just on the opportunities that Darlington had in the first half. But to be up 17-0, not allow them to score on that good drive they put together, definitely is a big win for the defense. And unfortunately for St. Francis, they just hadn't been able to string enough together to get themselves into position to do something positive in this game. So it's a young team. They're trying to work some things out, and they do have some talented athletic kids, but they're just not quite there yet.
Yeah, good adjustments, though, by St. Francis. Is that they've shot themselves in the foot a fair amount, really having a hard time with that shotgun snap. And whether it's a high snap or just mishandling the snap by their quarterback, Camden Lusk, it's been a problem that has plagued them that whole first half. But Darlington's speed was really just shutting them down, and then they adjusted and started getting the ball out of Lusk's handles a little bit quicker in the passing game, and were able to get a little success there late in the half. But still a goose egg on the scoreboard for them, and that's a credit to the Tiger defense. The offense moved the ball up and down the field, not getting as much push in the running game as we saw last week. So the Knights' defense has played fairly well, but the Tigers have had success. They just keep shooting themselves in the foot.
Indeed they do, and it's one of those situations, not that you want to look too far ahead to next week, but Darlington's first road trip of the season is going to be a major challenge as they're heading to Franklin, Georgia. It's a long road trip, facing a very good team, the Heard County Braves. That team is 2-0 with wins over South Atlanta and Pepperell, and they're taking on Manchester this evening. We'll check on that score in just a little bit, but we're talking about a team that won the AA state championship a couple of years ago, and now I'm not saying that this year's squad is at the same level as that team, but they're going to be a well-coached, very good football team. And Coach Barron's been there at Heard County since 2002, and they've been in the playoffs every year since 2005. So you know this is going to be a very big challenge. And if you make those kind of mistakes that we saw in the first half, that is really going to put you in a bad position when you're playing a team like Heard County. So a lot of things to work on.
Yeah, but coachable moments when this is how you want things to unfold when things are not going well. You've got a cushion here. It's a 17-0 lead. Darlington's clearly the better team here. They're going to win this football game. So if you're going to have a night where you make these kinds of mistakes, we didn't see this last week.
No, we didn't.
We didn't. They were crisp last week. So this is a good time for them to have these missteps, because it's going to allow the coaching staff to say, hey, guys, you got to have your head screwed on every snap out there when we're going up against a team like the Braves. And that's going to be a big challenge. I know that Darlington can rise up to that challenge, but mistakes like this would be unforgivable in that situation.
Well, we'll see what kind of adjustments they make as they come out of the locker room and get ready for this next half. I have a feeling after the spirited conversation perhaps that they are having right now, they'll have some things cleaned up before this game is over, and we'll see what happens. But again, Darlington 17, St. Francis 0. We're at halftime. We're going to send it back to the studio for another break. We come back, we're going to see if we can round up some scores from other games going on around the area, because the Friday night lights are shining bright in Northwest Georgia, so we're looking forward to checking in on some other games as well. So we'll send it back to the studio for a few minutes. We'll be back more at halftime here on WLAQ.
At Darlington, we're proud to wear purple and white.
Because Tigers strive for greatness.
In the classroom and on the field.
We know that we can do anything.
Be anything.
Achieve anything.
We're part of a program that is 100% dedicated to nourishing our minds and our bodies.
As teammates, we push each other further than we ever thought we could go.
Because every single one of us has something to contribute.
We practice hard so that when we compete, we can leave it all out on the field.
With each win, we build confidence.
With each loss is a lesson.
Our coaches teach us more than technique.
They prepare us to be good teammates,
friends,
and people.
We face adversity together
and push through to reach our goals.
We may struggle,
but we will never give up.
Because today,
because today,
tomorrow, forever.
We're Darlington Tigers.
To nothing over the Tryon Bulldogs at halftime. Model coming off of a big win last week where they fought back to beat Lafayette. The week before they went to overtime with Sonoraville. This Blue Devil team is going to be a competitor in Region 7 AA. A pick that looks like we got wrong. We were high on the Chattooga Indians. Well, they're getting drubbed right now at Sonoraville. It's 35-14. Currently, the Phoenix are leading that ball game. Cartersville up big over Alexander, 28-0 at the half. Of course, our score here is 17-0. Rome trails Cherokee 9-21. Now, I've had a little update from that ball game. Rome has moved the ball well. They're struggling. They're turning the ball over. Had a couple of interceptions, so we'll see if John Reed can get them right in the locker room and back in the game. They've got a tough game next week against Collins Hill. Young Rome team. We'll see how they fare in the second half. Coosa in a game that was just set up this week.
Coosa was supposed to play Almerchi this week. Almerchi had a situation where they had to quarantine a good portion of the team, from what I'm told, and so they lost that game. And then, Coosa was able to pick up a game, Lookout Valley up there in Tennessee. And then the other wrinkle to that is that Almerchi lost another game, not because of their quarantine, but because of another team, Weaver, out of Alabama. So they're looking for a couple of teams to help fill out the rest of their schedule. So that's just something that we're seeing here in 2020 that we're not used to. But Coosa taking advantage of an opportunity and up pretty decent in that game.
Yeah, up 13-0 over Lookout Valley up there in the Chattanooga area. Of course, Bremen and Pepperell were originally slated to play tonight. Because of the rain in the forecast and some drainage issues over there at the stadium on the Pepperell campus, they moved that to tomorrow night. So if you don't have anything to do on Saturday night, you can go watch the Pepperell Dragons play the Bremen Blue Devils. It should be a good ball game. Next week's opponent for the Darlington Tigers, the Heard County Braves, are beating Manchester 35-8. So just a drubbing going on there. That looks like a pretty good Heard County team. They beat Pepperell last week 36-29. And the last score that I have right now, you've got Cass trailing Sequoia. Sequoia's up by 1 point. And I bring that one up because that's the only difference in our high school picks this week.
That's right. I picked Sequoia and Ian picked Cass. And I do want to give another note on that Cartersville score that you were talking about over Alexander. They got a big lead in that game. They've made history this year already, and that they have 60 wins, consecutive wins in regular season play, which is a state record. They beat Camden County's record when they reached 59 a couple of weeks ago. So they're looking to stretch it out to 61 tonight, and they're well on their way. And that's just an unbelievable streak. And I figure we should talk about that because a former Cartersville coach is here tonight coaching for St. Francis, and what a proud program that is.
Well, we've always had good teams up here in Northwest Georgia, but this is a golden era right now, man. You're hard-pressed to find a bad football team. It's impressive what we've got, the talent that we have in this region.
And you've had some teams that have kind of struggled for a couple of years, like now that Jeff Honeycutt's out at Model, they've improved greatly over the last couple of years. They've been down for a year or two, and we're starting to see some teams come around. Coosa's a team that, even though none of these teams that we're talking about now play against Darlington in the same region or in the regular season for that matter, you have a situation where Coosa has really improved from last year because they only won one game last year. They won a 4-overtime thriller against Trine in their first week. They're on top right now. So it's good to see some of those teams that have kind of struggled also kind of get into the conversation and improving. It makes it exciting just as a high school football fan in general in Northwest Georgia.
Yeah, absolutely. And, man, one score I did miss, and a team that has struggled early this season. Gordon Central is up by 5 points, 17-12 over Southeast Whitfield, and the Warriors sure would like to notch a win.
And I did want to mention on the second scoring situation for the Darlington Tigers, we had missed the number of the young man that fell on the fumble in the end zone and recovered for a Darlington touchdown as St. Francis turned the ball over in the end zone, and that was none other than number 72, DJ Johnson, Big DJ Johnson, getting a touchdown for the Tigers here early in the season.
And I would say the defensive line as a whole has got to be in the running for the Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake players of the game. Those guys have played lights out.
They really have, Ian. Well, I tell you what, man, we've got about 3.5 minutes until halftime expires, and then, of course, we'll have the 3-minute mandatory warm-up period before the game begins. So, in other words, we got about 6 minutes until we start the second half. So we're going to step out for another round of commercials here on our halftime program. 2 reminders we want to give you before we go into this last break of halftime. Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake, player of the game coming up after tonight's action, followed by the Rome Orthopedic Center High School Football Scoreboard Show with Randy Davis and Lynn Butler. Well, We will be back for second half action from Chris Hunter Stadium by the Lakeside. Darlington up 17-0 over St. Francis. We'll take one more break at halftime. We'll be back for the second half after these messages. Yep, we are almost done with halftime. We've got 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in the mandatory warm-up period after the halftime period, and so we do have a couple of minutes. I'll go ahead and give you a couple programming notes for WLAQ over the weekend. We are the home of Atlanta Braves baseball, your local affiliate of the Braves, so we should give you a score update on that. The Braves, offensive explosion is how you describe this. They are up 12-0, middle of the fourth. Man. And it's a good thing that tonight, I believe they've got Max Fried on the hill. So that
Don't
gives
waste
you
that run support. Don't waste it. Fried can shut them down. We only need 5. 5 runs would be nice with Fried on the mound. But the Braves can certainly score some points, Matt.
And if they can get that pitching staff healthy and to what we thought it was going to be at the beginning of the season, then they're going to be a different look in terms of postseason success this year. But, man, I mean, I look at that, and it's kind of like that movie Major League where you're like, who are these guys?
Yeah.
Some of the pitchers in the starting rotation for the Braves, but Hamels is back, and hopefully once they get him back into the groove, he can be a factor when they get into the playoffs. And Fried, obviously, that guy's almost automatic for you every time he's on the hill. So I like the Braves' chances in this postseason.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch, man. This is it's a bizarre year. Things are a little bit different, but I'm enjoying every minute of it. It's so great to have sports back and just a bonanza, if you will, when it comes to your options of all the sports to watch. U.S. Open's going on right now. It's nuts.
NHL Stanley Cup playoffs. You've got the NBA. So a lot of things going on. You're right. But coming up on Saturday on WLAQ, Braves at New York Mets. That'll be the middle game of the three-game set. We'll get started at 5:55 p.m. with first pitch at 7:07. I love it when they have those strange starts for television. And then on Sunday, we'll have another Braves game for you, Braves at New York Mets, concluding that series. And the Braves only have 2 series after that, and then they will get ready for the postseason. So we're less than 2 weeks away from the beginning of the Major League Baseball postseason.
And I think yesterday the magic number was at 9, so if they can get the win tonight, it edges them closer to a 3rd straight division title.
And with the way that the playoffs are set up for 2020, I mean, the Braves are going to be in the playoffs pretty much no matter what, because you're going to have the top 2 teams out of each division. They're going to, more than half the teams in Major League Baseball are going to make the playoffs this year, the way it's set up. Yeah. It's very unusual. So anyway, well, we're just about ready to go, setting the stage here for the second half. The St. Francis Knights, they had won the toss, deferred to the second half, so they're trailing 17-0 to the Darlington Tigers, and they are hoping that they can come out and put together a strong drive to begin the second half. And if they do, Ian, it'll look like a totally different game.
It absolutely will, and they were able to get some positive momentum going with that last offensive drive, getting it inside the 10-yard line of the Darlington Tigers, knocking on the door, couldn't punch it in, but that's huge for them. As bad as things were going, they could still climb back in this game if they can get on the scoreboard. So you know that they're coming out here with the newfound optimism after struggling early, and they'll see if they can give the Tigers a game. Now, as for the Tigers, it's all about correcting the mistakes. They've got to clean that up in the second half.
It is going to be very interesting to see how the Tigers come out early in this second half, and I just have a hunch, based on watching this team play a lot over the last several years, I just have a hunch they will have cleaned up a lot. I think it's going to look a lot more crisp and clean in the second half. But we will see, because we are about to have toe meet leather. Brenton Sumner is out there on the field, and he's about to line his team up, and we will get ready to go here for the second half. Again, Darlington 17, St. Francis 0, and they're going to send a man back deep to try to return this kick. That's going to be Dorsey, I believe, there for the Knights, who is going to be standing about the 4-yard line. And here we go. Brenton Sumner is going to put the boot on it. That's end over end, and guess what? That is going to be a touchback.
It sure is. So Sumner has found his mojo once again, and the Knights will start their first drive of the second half on their own 20-yard line. That's how you want to do it. Eliminate the threat of the return. Well executed there on special teams by the Tigers.
So let's see who, well, it looks like, again, we're going to see Camden Lusk lining up at quarterback here for the St. Francis Knights. And they're going to line up with a couple of wide receivers here to the near side, one on the far side. They're going to, again, start on the 20-yard line because of the touchback. They look off to the sidelines to the coaching staff, make a few more adjustments, come back to the line of scrimmage, and here they come back with this 3 wide receiver set. Lusk takes the snap. He's going to hand it off here on the first play. He's going to bounce out to the left side. The running back is Dorsey, and he finds a little bit of room and gets about 5 yards on first down, so a positive play.
Yeah, nice bounce there by Dorsey to get out on the edge and pick up some positive yardage because the middle was clogged up by this Darlington defensive line. It continues to perform well.
So 2nd down and 5 here for the Knights as they get ready to line up at the line of scrimmage, which is now going to be at the 25-yard line. Lusk is going to line them up shotgun formation. 2 wide receivers on the far side, 1 on the near, working right to left on your radio dial. And we get ready for Lusk to take the snap. It's now in his hands, and he's going to hand it off again. And this time he goes back to Dorsey, who picks up 6 yards for a first down.
Yeah, nice gain there by Dorsey. He's really running with a little authority. The offensive line is getting a little bit more push than what we got accustomed to there in the first half. So Knights trying to establish the running game to open the second half.
31-yard line is where they're going to have it with this fresh set of downs with 11:11 left on the clock here in the third quarter. Glad you're listening to Darlington football with us tonight. We've had a lot of fun so far this season, and, man, it just feels good to be back in the booth again and seeing the Friday night lights shine and seeing these kids smile and have a good time playing some football. And
you having fun yet, man?
Oh, ton of fun. Shotgun formation, 2 wide on the far side, 1 on the near side. Les getting ready to take the snap for the Knights, and there's going to be a whistle and a flag. False start.
Yeah, we haven't seen many procedure penalties on the Knights. That's really been plaguing the Tigers, but this time the left guard came out of his stance a little bit early there, and that backs them up. And after positive momentum to start the drive, getting that first down on 2 carries, they're going to be behind the change at 1st and 15 here.
Tigers scored 3 times in the first half. Once their first touchdown was on a 46-yard run from Patrick Selly. The second was a fumble in the end zone by St. Francis, picked up by DJ Johnson. They would get a 2-point conversion to make up for a missed extra point on the first drive. Here comes the snap to Lusk. He's going to take it, throw it off to the right side, and that's going to be a drop for the wide receiver, Marcellus Hazelton, who couldn't hang on.
Yeah, they've been running that little bubble or jailbreak screen, whatever you want to call it, and just trying to get the ball out quick to see if they can counter the speed of the Darlington defense. And it's a bang-bang play. That time it was definitely a case of looking downfield before you receive the ball from Marcellus Hazelton.
And the third score of the evening there in the first half for Darlington was a 42-yard field goal from Brinson Sumner. That was right down Broadway. So shotgun formation. This is going to be a 2nd down and 15 with the ball on the 26 of St. Francis. They are working from right to left. Les takes the snap. He's going to fake the handoff, goes out to the right side. He's going to be brought down by Harrison Allen, one of the linebackers for the Darlington Tigers, and a few more guys came in, I believe, after that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a 7-yard loss, setting up a 3rd and very long for the Knights. 3rd and 21, in fact, is what they'll be staring at here. But once again, that was great pursuit there. Way to stay home. Didn't buy the play fake. And there was a gang of Tigers there ready to bring him down.
3rd down and 21 with 9:45 left, 3rd quarter. St. Francis with the football, trying to climb back into this game and just had trouble generating any offense. They've only had really one good drive in this game in the first half. Les getting ready to take the snap. He's got it in his hands. He's going to put it in the air, and he's going fairly deep with this one, and it's going to go out of bounds. The receiver was tied up, but that's going to be an incomplete pass.
He was, and you'll see a pass interference on an underthrow like that because the receiver, of course, is going to stop and try to go back to the ball. The defender ran through him there, but that ball was thrown about 5 yards out of bounds, so the flag stayed in the ref's pocket.
So that's going to bring up 4th down here for the Knights, and you're going to see another 3 and out as their quarterback, who also serves as the punter, is going to punt it away. You're going to have 2 men back deep here for the Tigers. You're going to have Speed and then also Patrick Shelley. So here comes the snap to Lusk. The kick is up in the air. It's floating off to the far sidelines, and it's going to go die right at about the, 46-yard line?
Yeah, man, it wasn't a very good punt, and they may not have any better options, but right now, Lusk is averaging around 20 yards a punt. That is I don't know. I just think the strategy's backfiring on him a little bit. And rugby kick it. See if you can get a little end over end bounce and have it carry a few more yards, because Darlington has been starting with some really good field position, and they will start this drive at the Knights' 46.
Shotgun formation, 1st and 10 for Darlington, already on the Knights side of the field. Taking the snap and handing it off to McDermott with Shelley, and McDermott's off to the races on the right side of the formation, picks up about 6 or 7 yards, probably ran about 30.
Yeah, and last week they tried to get McDermott out on the edge several times. This is his first carry of the night, if I'm not mistaken. So I know he's glad to get the rock, and he made the most of it as he lines up at wideout for this play.
2nd down and 1. Ball is now on the 37-yard line in St. Francis territory. They're going to hand it off to McDermott, run a sweep on the left side this time, and he's going to be brought down. I think he may have been a little bit short. We'll see if he was able to get it. His arm extended out and able to get that first down. I'm not sure. I think he's going to be short.
We've got a flag, Matt. We've got a flag, and it is a hold against the Tigers. And I think that was going to be close. They were probably going to have to bring out the sticks and measure, but you had a hold out there on the edge by one of the receivers. And that's gonna back them up 10 yards and set up a 2nd. And it says 9. It's got to be a long 10 though, because I don't think he quite got to the sticks.
Going to have some substitutions for the Tigers. Speed and McDermott coming off the field, and it looks like Trenton Mercer is going to be out here for this package. He'll be a wide receiver. If you're watching on the video, that'll be on the near side. That's going to bring up 2nd down and 11 here for the Tigers. Now the ball is going to be back out to the 47-yard line. Patrick Shelley in at quarterback. 3 wide receiver set, 2 on the near side, 1 on the far side. Shelley getting ready to take the snap, looks off to offensive coordinator Brent Bell. Harrison Allen is in the backfield flank to the right of the quarterback, Patrick Shelley. Shelley takes the snap. He's going to hand it off immediately to Allen, who has a big hole, gets a 1st down. He's down to almost the 30.
And I don't know how many carries Allen got in the first half, but I wouldn't be surprised if they really try to establish him here in the second half and just go to that ground game, give him the rock, let him take over, because he's the kind of back that's just going to get stronger as the game goes on.
So they're going to send 2 wide receivers to the near side, 1 on the far side. Patrick Shelley lines them up in a shotgun. They're going to have a H-back in. There's a snap. They're going to hand it off to Allen again, and this time he picks up maybe 3 yards, so not as much there, but he does get a positive gain.
Well defended, but here they go, establishing the running game. They're in scoring position again. The last time the Tigers were down in this territory, they fumbled the ball on a 4th and 1. You know they want to cash in on this drive and get this half started on the right foot.
Luke McDermott in for this package. Will Bagby comes off the field. You're going to have 2 wide receivers, 1 on either side. Man goes in motion. That's McDermott. They're going to hand off to Allen. Stays up. Gets about 3 or 4 yards, exactly what Darlington's wanting to do.
Yeah, absolutely. 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Allen's one of those guys that'll sit there and bang away. He'll pick up 3 here, 4 there, 5 there, and then he busts a big one. So just playing some smash mouth football here in the 3rd quarter.
And it looks like we're going to have a personnel change. Jack Payne's going to come in at quarterback. More than likely, we'll see them line up in that power set and try to get these last few yards for the 1st down, and that's exactly what it appears they're going to do. So Payne under center, takes the snap, gives it to Allen, muscles through, stays up. He's at the 10, 5, bye-bye. He went home. That's a touchdown for the Darlington Tigers. Harrison Allen with a 26-yard run to get the point.
And a little redemption for that 4th down fumble as they brought out the big eaters and came in with that heavy set, ran the exact same play that they fumbled on there late in the first half. This time, pay dirt. And Allen just takes it to the house, and the Tigers have hung another touchdown on the board. And if they can knock this PAT home, it'll be 24-0.
So Sumner is on. Of course, you'll have Mason McKenzie snap the ball to Jack Payne, and we'll see if he can punch this thing through and make it a 24-0 game. Here comes the snap. The hold looks good. The kick is up, and it is right through the uprights. And ladies and gentlemen, it is 24-0, and that score, Ian, makes this game feel a heck of a lot different.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. If St. Francis had been able to put points on the board there late in the first half, that was going to give them a lot of confidence. Darlington was able to avoid that with Patrick Shelley getting the interception, and then the Knights came out and were able to get a 1st down early on that first drive, but they stalled out, and Darlington has seized the momentum back with that touchdown drive, really establishing the run. They have a horse that they can ride. His name is Harrison Allen, and he took it to the house.
And now Darlington's going to tee the ball up, and as we've talked about for the last several kicks that we've seen from Brinson Sumner, he's locked in now. So I think more than likely we're going to see this one go into the end zone and perhaps have another touchback and try to make St. Francis have to go 80 yards to earn any points, and right now trailing 24-0 to your Darlington Tigers.
Yeah, you said it earlier that 42-yard field goal was right down Broadway. It also would have been good from 50 or beyond. He really got his leg into that one, so he's found his groove.
So here comes the kick from Sumner from the 40. It's in the air, end over end. This one's going to go into the end zone, another touchback.
Another touchback. St. Francis will start their 2nd drive of the second half on their own 20. See if they can build a little bit on the success they found in the running game. They got that 1st down, and then they had a procedure penalty that backed them up to 1st and 15. They weren't able to overcome that. Short punt set Darlington up with great field position, which has been a trend all night as well. So we'll see what strategy they come with to dig back in this game. And you know that they're just going to try to take some positives out of this game if they can going forward, because Darlington has control, and they've shown no ability to really sustain offensive drives.
Shotgun formation for Lusk. He's going to have 2 wide here on the near side, 1 on the far side, starting at their own 20. They're going to swing it out to the right side to the wide receiver, Marcellus Hazelton. They were able to connect, and he picked up 4 or 5 yards on first down.
And Hazelton did a great job there. A good stiff arm to shake his first man, but then he was greeted by 4 or 5 other Tigers who got him to the turf after a 5-yard gain.
And the lead man there was Luke McDermott coming up with a big stop. And, you know, he was a guy that didn't play last year because he had a shoulder injury. So good to see that young man back in the lineup here for the Darlington Tigers, because he's one of those guys that can really make a difference on your team.
Yeah, this defense has flown around the field all night long. A really impressive effort from them.
So we will see St. Francis line up here with 2nd down and 4 to go from their 26-yard line, with 6:15 left here in the third quarter. Shotgun formation as we get ready for Lusk to take the snap with a 3-wide receiver set. And that one's going to be whistled dead with a flag on the field. And let's see what the official's call is going to be.
Delay of game. So the flags keep flying. Knights are getting a little more frequent with their infractions this half. And that puts them at a 2nd and 9. They really can't afford to do that to themselves as much as they've struggled to pick up yards.
Lusk in shotgun formation, 2 wide receivers on both sides of the package, and they're going to hand it. Actually, the quarterback's going to keep it, and he's going to go down with virtually no gain, it looks like.
Yeah, Lusk went off tackle there as he decided to keep the read option, and not much room. When it comes to between the tackles, there hasn't been anything there all night. They've had to get to the edge to get positive yards. You know, the plays that have been designed to go between the tackles, they've had to bounce it. So great job containing things by this Darlington defensive front.
So shotgun formation with 3rd down and 7 here for St. Francis. 2 wide here on the near side, 1 on the far side. He looks off to the sidelines talking about the quarterback, Lusk. Now he takes the snap. He's going to fake the handoff, throws to the right side. It goes off the hand of Marcellus Hazelton, incomplete pass, and that's going to set up another 3 and out.
It is, and imagine Lusk will be the punter, and if that's the case, Darlington should take over with really good field position once again.
So Darlington with an opportunity here, forcing 2 3 and outs to start this second half and scoring on their first drive to really start to put this game out of reach for good. So here we get ready for the punt from Lusk with a couple men back here for Darlington. You're going to have Speed and Patrick Shelley. And we get ready for the kick. It's going to go off towards the right sidelines. It's going to drop. That was McDermott, by the way, that was back for Darlington.
Not only are that, I mean, Matt, that one went about 13 yards. It was out of bounds by the 40. He kicked it a little further, but you know, they're not allowing any return yards, but you take this all night, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So Darlington will start on the 41-yard line, already in St. Francis territory with 4:49 left to go in the third quarter, and a chance to really create some massive separation in this football game.
Yeah, another score here, and I mean, I think this ball game is well in hand as it stands. But if Darlington can punch it in here, Coach Eighth will get another opportunity to maybe get some other players in and get them some reps headed into next week.
2 wide here on the near side, 1 on the far side. Shelley takes the snaps, going to swing it out to Thomas Speed. He's got some room on the edge. The 20, the 15, 10, 5, stays in bounds. Touchdown, Darlington Tigers on the first play of the drive. That's a 41-yard play.
And I'm going to say it again, speed kills.
Indeed it does.
Just a simple little pitch out to the sidelines there, and great lead block by Tyler Watkins, and then Thomas Speed did the rest. They gave him a crease. He took it to the house, a 41-yard touchdown for the Tigers, and they extend their lead. It is now a 5-possession game, depending on two-point conversion math, which I'm not even going to try to do right now. It's Friday, Matt. I'm not doing any math.
Well, we're going to see Brenton Sumner try to tack on the extra point and make this thing 31-0 as we get ready for Mason McKenzie to snap. Jack Payne with the hold. The kick is up from Sumner, and it is going to be good. So the score is now 31-0 in favor of your Darlington Tigers. And as you said, Ian, I mean, this thing is pretty much in pocket. It's going to be a matter of what the final score will be.
Yeah, I imagine we'll see some of the backups get in and get some reps the rest of the way, as with 4:39 left in the third quarter, this thing is well in hand for the Tigers.
And, you know, the fact that we've seen the St. Francis Knights come out here and have 2 3-and-outs to start the second half. They had the ball as they deferred to the second half and just can't get anything going offensively. Really, when you look back at the scoring, they've only had one drive, and that drive they had 4 first downs. They ended up fumbling in their own, or actually threw an interception on that particular drive, but that's the only drive they've been able to actually get the ball moving.
Yeah, and they got things off to a decent start on that. That was on two run plays by Gianni Dorsey, got them a first down, but then they had a false start and couldn't recover from that. But it has sustained success on offense has not been the norm for the Knights tonight.
Well, they're going to send DeVell Wright back deep to try to attempt to return this kick, but if Brenton Sumner has anything to say about it, he's not going to get a chance because more than likely we're about to see another touchback. Here comes the kick. That one's end over end, and it is going to drop right in front of the goal line. It will be brought out by DeVell Wright, who goes off to the right side, and he's going to get it down to around the 20, it looked like.
This might be ticky-tacky. I'll be interested to see if what they're going to call here. It didn't really look like a late hit. The player let up as he got to the sidelines. Almost looked like he was trying to hold him up. Let's see if I can see it better on the replay. He was definitely out of bounds, but he grabbed him by the back of the jersey. They're going to call a personal foul, it looks like. Now, that by no means was gratuitous. Interesting call. I'll just leave it at that.
Well, that is going to set them up in much better field position as they're now going to have the ball at the 40-yard line, talking about St. Francis still in their own territory, getting ready to set up for this drive that begins with 4:30 left here in the third quarter. And they'll try to put together a little bit of offense here, getting kind of late in the game. There's a snap. They're going to hand it off to Dorsey immediately, and he is going to be wrapped up. He picked up maybe a yard or two. I thought he was going to get more out of that play, and then the Darlington Tigers swarmed to him.
Yeah, the hole closed up quickly. And the linebackers for Darlington, the secondary as well, have done a really good job of recognizing the play and flying to the ball, just gang tackling all night long.
31-0, Darlington Tigers on top, 4:04 left here in the third quarter. Stay tuned after tonight's action around 10 o'clock because it'll be time for the Rome Orthopedic Center High School football scoreboard show. And for the second week in a row, the Tigers have made it really difficult for us to pick the Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake player of the game.
They have. It's going to be a tough selection.
Shotgun formation. Lusk dropping back. Going to throw up the middle of the field, and Darius Smith's eyes got real big. He got a hand on it, almost picked it off.
Yes, they did. He almost made the interception there, and if he was able to reel that in, he might have been dancing down the sidelines on his way to another Darlington touchdown. Didn't work out that way for Darius, but he was there. He was in the right place at the right time.
Shotgun formation for a 3rd down and 9 here. St. Francis on their own 41 continue to struggle to get something going. One of the Tigers almost jumped, but he was able to get back. And we now wait on the snap to Lusk. There it is, handles it, hands it off, goes up the middle, finds a seam, and that's a big run for Dorsey and a first down, keeping the drive alive.
Really the first run between the tackles where we've seen a hole. And you don't have to give Dorsey much of a crease. So credit the Darlington defense for shutting him down most of the night, but he had a very small running lane there, and he made the most of it, picking up a first down.
So 1st down and 10 here for St. Francis, trailing this one 31-0, trying to get some signs of life into this offense of having a goose egg right at the moment. Lusk, shotgun formation. Here's the snap. It's over his head. He picks it up, trying to avoid disaster, puts the ball in the air, and that'll be an incomplete pass.
He took a pretty hard hit there. He's picking himself up off the turf. Hopefully he's okay. But the bad snaps and the trouble handling the snap, it's been both. You know, the center has sailed some over his head, but he's just really had a hard time catching it. And that time, I mean, the snap had a little heat on it, but got loose. Give Lusk credit for being able to collect himself and throw the ball away and avoid a big loss there on 1st down. So 2nd and 10 for the Knights.
And let me tell you, it's got to be pretty intimidating when you look up and big number 75 Davis Watson is coming right at you like a freight train. Speaking of trains, there's one that goes by.
Yeah.
There's the snap. And they're going to hand it off to Dorsey again, and he's going to be stopped for a loss.
Yep, that loss of 1 sets up a 3rd and 11. And this has not been kind to the Knights, third and long, considering that they're pretty much having to snap and immediately pass to avoid the pass rush. Look for something underneath here. The secondary is going to play in a soft coverage here and just allow them to have the underneath stuff and use their speed to shut it down.
Lusk and shotgun. With him in the backfield is going to be Johnny Dorsey here for this 3rd and very long. He's going to hand it to Dorsey, breaks a tackle, stays up, but he's only able to pick up maybe a yard, and that'll set up 4th and 10.
Yeah, they tried to sneak a draw in there. I like that call, but Darlington was up to the challenge of shutting it down. And hey, man, it's 4th and 10. You're in Darlington territory. You got to go for this, right? Yeah.
And it looks like that's probably what they're going to do here, the way that they're looking like they're going to line up. But we'll see.
Especially when you're averaging about 13 yards a punt. Just go for it, right?
I don't know. We'll see if we see a fake here, but they are lining up, showing that they're going to punt. Going back is Patrick Shelley. But we'll keep an eye on this. So they line up. Quarterback takes the snap. He's rolling out. He's going to fake, going to throw towards a wide receiver, and he's able to catch it. Was he inbounds when he made the grab?
They're ruling
yes,
it a catch. So
I'm trying to pick up the wide receiver on this
They were
play.
setting it up all night, Matt. They were setting up this play all night with Camden Lusk back there. He lines up to punt, and this time he doesn't kick it. He decides to pull it down and throw it, and they're able to convert there. A nice catch there on the sideline by Al Geiger, who, when he's gotten the ball, has really shown some flashes.
He really has. And now that brings up 1st and 10, so a little bit of life here for the Knights. They're going to set up now at the 32-yard line in Darlington territory in shotgun formation. 3 wide receivers set, working right to left. They're going to swing it out to the right side. They're able to hit Geiger again. This time he picks up about 5 yards.
I think that was Blake Thompson getting the catch there, a freshman. That was his first reception of the game, number 6. So they picked up some positive yards.
So 2nd down and 6 here for the Knights. 1:17 left here in the 3rd quarter with Darlington leading this one 31-0. And we wait for St. Francis to come back to the line of scrimmage and get ready to roll. Looking off to the sidelines, getting a play call. In the backfield is going to be Johnny Dorsey. And Lusk is set to take the snap. The ball's in his hands, but barely. Another high snap he's having to handle. There's the pass towards the end zone. It's going to be tipped by the wide receiver. I think that was Roman Stamps, unless I'm badly mistaken. That's going to be an incomplete pass.
He almost pulled that one in, another underthrow, which, I like that they're taking some shots downfield, giving themselves an opportunity. And on those underthrows, you can draw the pass interference pretty easily, too. So not a bad strategy there to take a shot on 2nd and 7. Wouldn't be surprised if they try something underneath here just to make it 4th and manageable. They're going to roll the dice the rest of the way, I would imagine.
And that is going to be a timeout called by St. Francis. So we're going to do the same thing. 1:09 left, 3rd quarter. Darlington 31, St. Francis 0. We will step out for 1 minute. All right, we're back by the lakeside at Chris Hunter Stadium. Darlington having a big night tonight, 31-0, trying to move their record for the season up to 2-0 before they go for a big road trip at Heard County next week. St. Francis lines up with 3rd and 7 with the ball on the Darlington 29. They're going to throw off to the right side and connect, pick up a first down. A flag comes in, and I believe this is going to end up being a call against Darlington.
Yeah, there wasn't a push off. Man, this is a young St. Francis team. You know, it has been sloppy, it has been ugly, Matt, but
looked like a hold was going to be called on Darlington.
And they'll march that off if that's the case. They'll get the yardage from the completion, and then they'll tack on 10 yards from there. Let's see how. Yeah, 10-yard penalty, so it had to have been a hold. But a great route there by Blake Thompson, the freshman, with his second catch on this drive. And St. Francis is in business. Let's see if they can get out of their own way and get into the end zone.
In the red zone at the 10, first down for the Knights, and they're going to hand it to Dorsey. Dives towards the end zone. He may have come up a little bit short, but he's knocking on the door.
He sure is. That was a nice little delay draw there. And Dorsey has proven that if you give him a little room, he can get upfield and do some damage.
So we've got a second down here with the ball on the 2, as the Knights are going to try to punch this in and get their first points of the game. They've only scored 14 points out of their first couple of games this year. So shotgun formation, Lusk getting ready to take the snap. Here it is, a little over his head, but he handles it, gives it to Dorsey, and they score. That's a 3-yard touchdown run for Dorsey, and the St. Francis Knights earned the heck out of that one.
And I tell you what, their center really snaps the ball with some velocity. That one almost got through Lusk's hand, but he was able to wrangle it, hand it off, and Dorsey gets into the end zone. That kid has run hard. He's a senior, one of only 3 on this roster. So for him to get into the end zone, that's a nice way for him to cap off a hard night's work. Still a quarter to play. He'll get some more opportunities, but scoring opportunities have been few and far between for the Knights. They cashed in on that one.
Jake Heinzelman on to try to tack on the PAT, and here's the snap, the hold, and it is going to go off the cross, actually off one of the goal posts. Yeah. Doink, and that is going to be a miss. So the score remains 31-6.
Yep, that one went off the left goal post, man. When it's not going your way, it's just not going your way, and things have not gone the way of the Knights most of this evening.
And, you know, again, it's after they had a historic season last year, 7-5, made it to the second round of the playoffs for the first time in school history, and graduated a tremendous amount of seniors. So they do have some athletic kids on this team, some talent, but they're just trying to get things moving in the right direction. And, of course, Frank Barden, who was at Cartersville for 18 seasons, had a state championship there, retired from public school coaching, is now at St. Francis in his 3rd year and just still trying to get that program into the kind of condition that they'd like to see it in. So definitely think the future is bright for this young team.
Yeah, I mean, when you're starting this many freshmen and sophomores, this is great experience for them. And they've gone out there and they've played hard. Now, what I didn't expect from this team, and I didn't know that much about St. Francis, but last week, Lakeview was clearly overmatched from an athletic standpoint. But they played a really clean ball game. This one's just been very, very sloppy. And sometimes when your opponent is playing that way, it affects the way you play. So I think that might be part of what's plaguing Darlington with some of the mistakes they've made, but they have cleaned it up here in the second half.
2 men back here for Darlington, and Heinzelman kicks the ball. It's going to be picked up, bobbled around a little bit by McDermott. He's able to pick it up. Look how fast his legs are. He's a very, very shifty runner. He's able to get out to the 30-yard line. And I didn't think there was a chance he was going to get that far with it. That just shows you what kind of runner he is.
Yeah, sometimes when you have a loose ball on a kickoff like that, it gets the kickoff coverage team out of their lanes. And McDermott was really close to breaking that one. Nice return from him on what was a broken play.
So we got 6.7 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter. So we're almost down to our final quarter of football here from Chris Hunter Stadium tonight. Darlington on top 31-6. And really, you know, with this drive, you're going to see a lot of the run, more than likely just trying to eat as much clock as possible. and perhaps tap on some more points. But you got Patrick Shelley in shotgun. He's going to take the ball, hand it off immediately to Allen. Bounces off a couple of tackles, stays up, but still didn't get a lot there, maybe about a yard or two.
Looked like no gain, but he made the defense work for it. He bounced off about 4 or 5 guys, a few spin moves. We've got a Knight down on the turf. Looks like he's going to hop up pretty quickly, so we won't have but we do have a stoppage.
Yes, we do. That's the end of the third quarter. Darlington 31, St. Francis 6. We're going to step out for a 1-minute timeout. We'll come back for the final 12 minutes of this football game here on WLAQ. We'll be back. All right, we're back here from Chris Hunter Stadium, enjoying a lovely evening by the lakeside. And if you're a Tiger fan, you're happy right now because your Tigers are up in this game 31-6 and 12 minutes away, more than likely coming away with a victory and moving to 2-0 for the season, getting ready for a big road trip next weekend.
Well, stranger things would have to happen for it not to end up as a W for the Darlington Tigers. They have this thing well in hand, and they've got the weapons to just kind of milk the clock and take this thing to the house.
2nd down and 9, didn't pick up much on that first down play. Shotgun formation, there's the snap. Quarterback Shelley's rolling out the pass, is going to throw one, connect with a wide receiver. He's able to get Tristan Watkins wide open, and they pick up a first down.
Yeah, Watkins just ran a little curl route there, sat down as Shelley scrambled out to the left, gave him a good target, about a 6 yards in the air, and then Watkins did the rest of the work. He lost his helmet, though, there at the end, and he'll have to come off the field for a play.
So Patrick Shelley will get them lined up now on the 44-yard line. Darlington still in their own territory. We've played 10 seconds of this final quarter of the football game. Patrick Shelley ready to take the snap with 3 wide receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. The one on the far side is Thomas Speed. And we get ready for the snap from Shelley. It's in his hands. He's going to throw a pass out the left side to Bagby. And that's the first one that we've seen Bagby not be able to hang on to today.
Yeah, it was
a little behind.
Yeah, it was a little bit behind him, and he had a defender who was ready to take him down, but just couldn't reel that one in.
So that'll bring up 2nd down and 10. Darlington with the ball on the 44, leading at 31-6. After the game, the Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake player of the game. And let me tell you, I love me some Honeymoon Bakery. The last time I had some was about a week ago, and I had some of that tiramisu, and it was fantastic. Shotgun formation, Patrick Shelley takes the snap. He's going to hand it off to Allen, finds a little bit of room, stutter step, stays up, gets the first down. He's out to the 40, the 35. He's going to get down to the 20, stays up, down to the 15-yard line. What a big-time run by Allen.
And that's what you see from a back like that, man. As the game wears on, it's harder and harder to bring a runner like that down to the turf. He's bouncing off guys. He's breaking some big runs. Had a long touchdown run, and I think that was his longest run of the night. That one was around 45 yards.
Now we're going to see Thomas Bethel come in for this particular set, and we called his name a good amount last week. 11-13 left here in the football game. Darlington now has the ball in the red zone on the St. Francis 17 with a great opportunity here to add some more to their point total. Bethel's going to be in the backfield with Patrick Shelley for this first down play.
We haven't seen Bethel hasn't gotten a lot of carries. Last week he really got the rock a lot, so it'll be interesting to see what he does with his opportunity here.
Shelley set to take the snap. Man goes in motion. It's a high snap, and Shelley's going to go back and just cover, but that's a huge loss. Takes him all the way back close to the 45-yard line.
Yeah, 20-yard loss there on a high snap, and something's in the air with the snaps tonight. It has been an issue. More so for Darlington's opponent than the Tigers themselves, but that one definitely hurt.
Yeah, that's not something you see a lot with Darlington, but nonetheless, we see it there, and now they'll go back to the drawing board with a 2nd and 35. Well, don't say that too many times in a game.
You don't. The Tigers have done a good job of overcoming their mistakes in week 1 and again this week with penalties, but we will see if they can overcome this one.
And they're going to call a timeout. So we're going to do the same thing. 10:01 left in the game, 31-6. Darlington with a 2nd and 35 coming up from their own from the 42-yard line of St. Francis when we come back after a 30-second break.
Check some scores.
Uber.
Hang in there, Cass.
Click it. See if it's changed.
All right.
All right. Ian, how do you like being on the Jumbotron?
Love it, man. Love it. They're catching your good side.
Thanks for setting it up that way. I really appreciate it.
No problem, man. I'm here for you.
Let's see. Darlington Tigers 31 right now. St. Francis with 6 points on the board. We have 10:01 left to go in this football game, and Darlington will trot their offense back out onto the field after this timeout and get ready for this 2nd down and 35. Yes, you heard right. 2nd down and 35 with the ball on the St. Francis 42. Shotgun formation. Patrick Shelley ready to take the snap with 3 wide receivers on the far side, 1 on the near. He's looking right, goes left, gets it in the hands of Bagby, shakes a couple of tackles, stays up. He's going to be down to about the 28-yard line. So another good play by Will Bagby. He's had a few really nice catches and runs here in this game.
Yeah, he's been reliable all night long. A little jailbreak screen there. Worked out well for him. Got some of that yardage back after the bad snap. Setting up a 3rd and 21. Not exactly 3rd and manageable.
Not exactly, but that was a big chunk of yards. You're going to have Darius Smith in the backfield here with Patrick Shelley. 2 wide receivers on either side of the formation. Shelley takes the snap, rolling out, looking to pass, got a nice pocket, puts it up the middle of the field and connects with his wide receiver, which I believe was that Thomas Speed? Nope, it was not. It was Simpkins.
Let's see this on this replay. The ball was not in his hands when he got up after the tackle. So
that brings up 4th and 9.
Wow, man. I tell you what.
And that's going to
That was a completion, but if there was such a thing as this replay, that might have been an interception. I can't tell. They tried to snatch the ball from him as he was going to the ground.
Sumner on for a 33-yard field goal attempt here on 4th down, 8:42 left in the ball game. The kick is up, and it is going to be just inside the right goal post, and that'll be a 33-yard field goal. 2 made field goals tonight for Brenton Sumner.
Yeah, nice kick there. Snuck that one through. And they take a 34-6 lead there. Definitely not going to be happy with the high snap, but they recovered and were able to get back into scoring position and walk away with points.
Definitely, and as you mentioned, 34-6 is your score with 8:35 left to go in this ball game. And since we have a moment, do you have any score updates for us?
I do. Rome looks to be running out of rope in their comeback bid against Cherokee. They have moved the ball up and down the field all night, but just haven't been able to cash in on their drives. They trail 21-12 late in the 4th quarter. Models up 31-zip on Tryon. Calhoun 7-0 still against Cedartown in a defensive struggle.
Mine just updated, and it says Calhoun in the fourth quarter,
14-0. Yeah, mine did too. Let's see here. Coosa 34-0 over Lookout Valley, so that matchup worked out well for them. And that's all I've got right now. Cass is winning over Sequoia 12-10 in the fourth quarter.
Brinson Sumner's got it teed up, ready to roll from the 40-yard line. A man back deep here for St. Francis, going to try to return this one. It is definitely going to be an opportunity.
Oh, that's a live ball.
Takes a interesting bounce in front of one of the St. Francis players. He picks it up and gets drilled by a Darlington Tiger, and I believe that was Joe Marion who came in and grabbed him.
Yeah, good tackle there. That one had some English on it. When it hit at the 8-yard line, it spun backwards and bounced around the 13. And on a kickoff, that's a live ball. Darlington could have gone and scooped that up and had possession. And it was disastrous, as a lot of things have been for St. Francis tonight. But they were able to get on the ball, and will start this drive at their own 14.
So St. Francis trots their offense back out on the field, and Camden Lusk and company will go back to the drawing board, trailing this one 34-6 and running out of time. Shotgun formation, Dorsey in the backfield with Lusk. He's going to hand it to Dorsey, tries to find a hole, and then the hole closes very quickly. There's just nothing there for him.
I'll give Dorsey some credit for trying to stop and start again, but that's not a good idea against this Darlington defense. When he put the brakes on, there was nowhere to go, and they lost yardage on that one.
So 2nd down and 10 after no gain on that play with 8 minutes to go, and St. Francis goes back to the line of scrimmage. Stay tuned after the game for the Rome Orthopedic Center High School football scoreboard show, but only after we award Week 2's Honeymoon Bakery Icing on the Cake Player of the Game.
We're gonna put some thought into this, Matt. Figure out who gets the game ball, so to speak.
Shotgun formation, Lusk getting ready to take the snap with Dorsey in the backfield. 3 wide receivers to the far side, working left to right. High snap again. He's able to pull it down and avoid disaster, but then he gets sacked in the backfield and takes a loss.
Yeah,
Could have been a lot worse.
Luke Lewis with his 2nd sack of the game. He started the game with a sack, and now he's capping it off with another in the 4th quarter. Heads-up play there.
So now the ball is going to be on the 8-yard line as you're seeing St. Francis get pushed back towards their own goal line. They are not heading in the direction they were hoping for on this drive.
In reverse for sure, Matt, with 7 minutes left on the clock. 3rd and 16. Not the position you want to be in on 3rd down.
3 wide receivers to the far side, 1 on the near side, working left to right. There's a snap. Lusk drops back, puts the ball in the air. It is caught by his wide receiver, making a nice grab. I believe it was Blake Thompson there.
Yeah.
And he gets it back to around the original line of scrimmage, maybe a little bit past that. So, good play.
Yeah, Blake Thompson's 3rd reception here in the 2nd half. That's a true freshman out there playing ball and making some plays. And if you're Coach Barton, you've got to look at the positives here. This is a young squad. You've just got to build these blocks and try to get back to where you were last season, and that's going to take some time.
Train number 3 goes by here at Chris Hunter Stadium. They've even got a graphic with a train. That's awesome.
That is great.
I've never noticed that before. Shotgun formation as we get ready for Lusk to take the snap, and he is going to kick it away, and that's going to take a pretty decent bounce and going to roll all the way back to the 33-yard line. That's the best punt of the night.
Absolutely. I think that was probably what they've been going for. They have not been getting it. He didn't try to put as much air under that one, and he got a really good roll. And Darlington didn't have anybody back to receive, so that helped as well. And Darlington will be starting with their poorest field position of the 2nd half, which, I wouldn't argue with the 30-yard line. That's okay, 32.
You can handle that.
Yeah. Not a bad place to start. There are worse places to get the ball.
So we'll see the Darlington Tigers trot their offense back onto the field, and probably going to see some substitutes in and maybe learn a few new names here on this drive with the amount of time that we've got left in this game and the fact that Darlington's up 34-6. A good confidence-building night for the team tonight. Definitely some things to iron out. But this team's got to be fired up to get the opportunity to go play a very, very good football team at Heard County next week. And and we're going to find out what they're made of for sure.
Yeah, Jack Payne coming out and getting some reps here.
There's the snap. He's going to hand it off. Nice spin move at the line of scrimmage. He's going to be brought down after a pickup of about 2 yards, but that spin move made it happen and gave him a chance to get a little something out of that. Actually, it's going to be more like 3 or 4 yards. And was that Bethel with the carry? I believe it was.
It was. And he had some explosive runs last week against Lakeview. So we'll see if they feed him the rock a little bit here as the clock winds down in the fourth quarter. 1
wide receiver on the far side, 2 on the near side for this particular down, and you're going to have Jack Payne in at quarterback, as you have mentioned. Bethel is in the backfield. There's a snap. Rolling out the throw is going to be Payne. Puts a nice spiraling throw out for Luke Overbay, who makes a great catch and gets down to the 40-yard line in St. Francis territory.
Yeah, just a simple out route there. Payne faked the handoff, rolled out to his left, and fired on target to Overbay, who didn't have a defense. I mean, I'm sure he was expecting to be greeted after that, but when he turned upfield, he had plenty of running room and a really nice game for the Tigers.
So the Tigers are going to line up with a fresh set of downs now with the ball on the 40-yard line in St. Francis territory. Shotgun formation, Jack Payne with 3 wide receivers, 2 on the far side, 1 on the near, takes the snap, pulls it down, hands it off to Bethel, who's greeted by big number 44 for St. Francis, and that young man's name is Jackson Westmoreland.
Yeah, really nice play by Westmoreland there off the edge to make the tackle and shut that play down before it could get started.
Tigers up 34-6. We're down close to the 4-minute mark of this one. Jack Payne looks off to the sidelines, getting a play call. And now they will get set up for this 2nd down and 10 with the ball on the 40. Working right to left. Payne takes a snap, rolls to his right, puts it in the air. It's a little bit over the hands of Luke Overbay, but I thought that might have been a pass he could have handled.
Yeah, it was a catchable ball, just kind of slipped through his fingertips there and sets up a 3rd and 10.
So 3rd down for the Tigers, and they'll come back to the line of scrimmage, looking to try to come up with a play here and keep this drive going and eat some more clock. 3:54 left to go in this football game as we edge about 15 minutes closer to our 10 o'clock hour and the start of the Rome Orthopedic Center High School football scoreboard show on WLAQ.
Excited to hear about the action around town.
Jack Payne takes the snap on 3rd and 10, rolls to his left side after looking right. Flags come in, and we'll see what that's all about.
That could be in the area of defensive holding, Matt, right there. I mean, he was back in the pocket for a while. It's going to be, let's see. It is
holding.
A hold on the defense.
So that's,
yeah, that's 10 yards. That'll get Darlington a 1st down and keep this drive alive, which is great, man. These guys put a lot of work in practice, and these live game reps are so valuable going forward. You know, you need these guys to be ready if their number is called as the season goes on, and you can practice, but these live reps are just, you just can't duplicate that in practice.
3:42 left, 1st down and 10 after the big penalty from St. Francis. Darlington leading 34-6, and Jack Payne has the play call and is ready at the line of scrimmage to take the snap from shotgun. 2 wide receivers on the far side, 1 on the near. They're going to quick pitch out to Bethel, tries to find a running lane and goes off to the left side. He's got room to run, stays up the 10-5. Touchdown, Bethel of the Darlington Tigers, and they strike again, 40-6.
Yeah, way to reverse field there. Thomas Bethel took the pitch, and he had nowhere to go, so he changed direction, cut back across field, and diced through the defense there for a touchdown. And we saw him run really well last week. He hasn't gotten a lot of carries tonight, but he made the most of that one, hanging another touchdown on the board, and the Tigers cross the 40-point threshold here in the 4th quarter.
Won last week 32-7 over Lakeview Academy. Tonight they're up 40-6 over St. Francis. Brinson Sumner on again to attempt the point after. And here comes the snap from McKenzie, the hold from Payne. The kick is up, and that one's right through the middle. And that brings the score to 41-6.
Nice to see Bethel get that opportunity and make the most of it. Darlington has played a much cleaner second half, wouldn't you say, Matt?
Oh, no question about it, and that's one of the things that we commented on at halftime, that you knew the coaching staff would get their attention, make some adjustments, and certainly looked a lot more, a little crisper here in the second half, a little cleaner, as you mentioned. And they really needed that confidence boost and really pull away in this game to get ready for, again, what we've talked about throughout the night. It's going to be a big test next week at Heard County.
Yeah, man, they're going to have to be ready to play. You know, Coach Athel will want them to clean up all the little things to be ready for a tough Braves team on the road. I can't wait, man. It's going to be a really cool environment.
And in the third quarter, Heard County was up over Manchester 35-14, and if that score ends up holding, which that lead holds, I would imagine it will, Heard is going to be 3-0 for the season when we go over there coming up next weekend.
And they've gotten a little taste of the Northwest Georgia region with their matchup against Pepperell last week, which ended up being a pretty close game between them and the Dragons. I think Darlington has a chance to go on the road and get a big win.
So Sumner's got it teed up, ready to kick off. Back deep is DeVell Wright here for the Knights. It's going to be a long kick. It's going to drop and go all the way back into the end zone, a touchback, and that'll make them have to go 80 yards.
Yep. Start this drive on the 20. St. Francis will try to see what they can get going with what should be their last offensive possession of this ball game as they trail 41-6.
Glad you're with us tonight, whether you're watching on the video stream or listening on the radio at WLAQ 96.9 FM, 1410 AM, and WLAQ1410.com.
Rome has scored a field goal. With 52 seconds left to play, they are lining up for an onside kick. If they could recover, they would have a chance to drive the field and perhaps steal one from Cherokee.
Hey, if any team could do it, it is the Rome Wolves. So shotgun formation as Les gets ready to take the snap. He's got it, hands it off, gives it to Dorsey. Dorsey runs off to his left and finds some room, gets a first down, stays up. He is going to be all the way down to the 46 before they haul him out of bounds.
Yeah, he put the brakes on and took a page out of Thomas Bethel's book there in reversed field and found himself some running room. Considering how little room he has had to run, Gianni Dorsey has been the workhorse for this St. Francis offense. He's really run hard and given maximum effort all night long.
Fresh set of downs here for St. Francis. They'll set up 1st and 10 with the ball at the 42-yard line, still in their own territory, trying to get it across center field. There's the snap. Quarterback can handle the snap, and he's going to just have to cover. Wow, that has been. They're going to have to get.
I know what I'm doing in practice next week. Yeah. We are going to snap the ball. That has been atrocious tonight. St. Francis has really, really struggled with it, and it always seems to happen right after they do something positive. So that's got to be tough to swallow.
And that's one of those things that once it gets inside your head, it is hard to overcome.
Yeah, absolutely.
So 2nd down and 19 yards to go for the first down for St. Francis, who had just picked up a first down.
Cherokee recovered the onside kick, so the comeback bid is finished for Rome, but they did pitch a shutout in the second half. We got a timeout.
And we're going to take one as well. 2:33 left. Darlington 41, St. Francis 6. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Well, the Darlington Tigers, it hadn't been the prettiest game throughout, but they're going to cruise to victory tonight, 41-6 to move to 2-0. And at this point in time, it's just a matter of playing out the final 2 minutes and 33 seconds of this game and seeing what the scoreboard looks like at the end of the game. But right now, St. Francis with the ball, 2nd down, 19 to go with the ball on the 33 after the bad snap on the previous play. There's a long pass in the air, had a good air under it, a little bit too much for Roman Stamps to get to, but he had a lot of green grass in front of him. If he was able to haul that one in, that would have been a touchdown more than likely.
Yeah, he had gotten behind the defense, a nice play fake there, and the best ball I've seen Camden Luss throw tonight. He really spun that one, but just a little bit too much on it, and really could have hit the long ball there. It would have been a nice side note on the Knights' evening.
Shotgun formation, 2 wide receivers on the far side, 1 on the near side, split wide, 3rd down and 19. Here's a pass off to the left side. A short pass is going to end up in the hands of DeVell Wright. Finds some running room, stays up. Ball comes out at the end of the play, but I think he was down.
Yeah, that was caused by the ground.
So that's going to set up a 4th down and what about 5?
Yeah, that's manageable. I would imagine they'll go for it here. Nothing to lose with 2 minutes to go. You might as well.
So 4th down and a short 5. We're under 2 minutes to play. Actually going to call it 4th and 4. Shotgun formation for Camden Lusk, who's been the quarterback every snap tonight for St. Francis. Well, there was one Wildcat that we saw earlier, but there's the snap. Going to hand it off over to Dorsey. Gets out to the right side. Nice stiff arm. Gets a 1st down and gets out of bounds at about the 38.
Oh, we're gonna get a penalty. Man, the refs are not messing around. That was wasn't much contact over there, but Coach Atha taking this moment to coach his kids up on how to conduct themselves on the sideline. Let's see what happened over there. Yeah, I don't know about that, man. I mean, I guess they're just trying to keep things from getting chippy, but that was light contact.
Well, it's going to give a lot of yards here to St. Francis, as now they're going to set up at the 23-yard line, knocking on the door of the red zone, trailing 41-6. And they'll have, obviously, a fresh set of downs. Shotgun formation, Lusk getting set to take the snap with 3 wide receivers. He's going to throw it out to the left side and saw some green grass and forgot to catch the ball.
We've seen a lot of that from the Knights receivers tonight, man. Their eyes get big. I think they're going to make a big play, but you have to secure the ball before you take off for pay dirt.
And a lot of their wide receivers, we're talking sophomores.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That was a sophomore wide receiver right there. So that'll be something that as they get more experience and get more reps, they'll be able to overcome some of that.
Oh, yeah. I imagine this team is going to improve. They're going to be fun to watch next year.
2nd and 10. They're going to hand it off to Dorsey. Kind of a delayed run there. He's going to get it to about the 22. Not a big gain there, maybe a yard or 2. We're down to 1 minute and 15 seconds with Darlington on top, 41-6.
St. Francis they're going to give everything they've got to get one more score here.
And they've scored 3 touchdowns this season, 1 in each of their games, so they would love to get 2 in this one.
Yeah, get to double digits for the first time this season.
Shotgun formation, 2 wide receivers to the far side, 1 on the near. Les set to take the snap, and he's got it in his hands. Going to drop back, puts it in the air. It's going to be a fade off to the left side, and it's going to overthrow Roman Stamps again on that play, and that'll be an incomplete pass.
They put a lot of air under that ball, but it was close. It was close, but no cigar. And it's all down to this 4th and 9 play for the Knights if they are going to get a second score in this ball game.
So stay tuned. Coming up in just a few minutes, we're going to have a very brief wrap-up show in which we'll award the Honeymoon Bakery Icing on the Cake Player of the Game. We'll have a little conference during our break at the end of the game and figure out who that is going to be tonight. And then after that, shortly after, we're going to have the Rome Orthopedic Center High School Football Scoreboard Show. And this game ran a little long tonight, so we'll get a little bit of a late start with that. But having a good time here by the lakeside. It's been nice to start the season with a couple of home games. And now the Tigers will get ready next weekend to go take on a 3-0 Heard County. Coming up pretty big tonight against Manchester. More than likely, last score we saw, it looked like they had that game in pocket.
Yes, it did, Matt. So I think Heard County will be 3-0. And looks like the Knights have elected to kick the field goal. This would be a 39-yard attempt for Jake Heintzelman.
Heintzelman puts the boot on it, and that one's going to be good.
Yeah.
Just barely got over the crossbar,
right.
And it is good. So they'll tack on 3 points. They got 2 scores in the game for the first time this season.
Yeah, and Heintzelman being a senior, it's nice to see them elect to give him an opportunity to kick the field goal. He had a little room to spare on that one as it was true and down the middle. So 41-9, Darlington here with just 35.6 seconds left on the clock. It's been a great night for football, Matt.
It has, and let's see if it's been a great. Well, it had been a great night for baseball for the Braves. Right now, they're in the bottom of the seventh. They lead that one 14-2 over the New York Mets.
Putting up runs. You can't say they're not exciting.
Oh, definitely. And you know, they made an interesting move earlier this week in which they signed a minor league contract to Pablo Sandoval, who in 2012, when he was with the San Francisco Giants, was the MVP of the World Series, which, to be honest with you, back when I was calling the Rome Braves games with my dad in 2006, he played for the Augusta Green Jackets. So we saw him all the time.
Yeah.
And I never would have guessed at that point in time watching him play that he would end up being an MVP in the World Series and have the kind of long career that he has. But now we may never see him in a Braves uniform at the big league level. But
I used to say that about Trent Dilfer. You remember Trent Dilfer? He ended up getting a Super Bowl ring. Guy wasn't pretty to watch, but he played a lot of years in the pros.
Well, we're going to see the young man that just got the 39-yard field goal, Heintzelman, tee it up one more time this game and kick it back to the Darlington Tigers. And we will just play out the remaining 35.6 seconds of this game. The kick is going to go towards the end zone and is going to die right around the 4-yard line.
Right, that'll draw a flag as it rolled out of bounds. And Darlington will start this drive at the 35. I imagine we'll see a run, maybe two, and this thing will be in the books.
And I think at this point that pretty much everybody here is about ready for this one to be in the books, and it is. So 35-yard line, as you just mentioned, is where Darlington is going to set up shop and run out the remaining clock here over the next couple of plays, and we'll head home. Darlington 41, St. Francis 9 after kicking that field goal.
Are you going to try to get some tiramisu?
You know, they're closed now, so not tonight, but maybe tomorrow.
Maybe tomorrow. For
my football watching pleasure as I get ready to watch the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets take on UCF.
Hey, big game for the Jackets coming off a big win last week in Tallahassee. Can they go 2-0 against the state of Florida?
Shotgun formation for Jack Payne, the quarterback. He's got one running back right there with him. I think that's Bethel, 3 wide receivers. Here's the snap. No, that's not Bethel. It's
Jack.
Who is that?
Jack Good was actually in at quarterback,
yes,
number 18. And that handoff went to number 26. That is Gabe Simpkins that got the carry there.
And we saw Jack Good play at quarterback a little bit last year. So he's getting some snaps here in his sophomore season.
And that may be the only one.
10 seconds left on the clock, and it looks like we're about to hear the final buzzer here tonight from Chris Hunter Stadium. And the Darlington Tigers will win this football game 41-9, your final score to go 2-0 in the season. So we're going to go ahead and send it back to the studio for a few minutes. We'll come back and we will award the Honeymoon Bakery Icing on the Cake Player of the Game. And we'll get you ready for the Rome Orthopedic Center High School Football Scoreboard Show. We'll be back in a few minutes.
At Darlington, we're proud to wear purple and white.
Because Tigers strive for greatness.
In the classroom and on the field.
We know that we can do anything.
Be anything.
Achieve anything.
We're part of a program that is 100% dedicated to nourishing our minds and our bodies.
As teammates, we push each other further
Have a good night,
than
man.
we
Good
ever
to
thought we could go.
Because every single one of us has something to contribute.
We practice hard so that when we compete, we can leave it all out on the field.
With each win, we build confidence.
With each loss is a lesson.
Our coaches teach us more than technique.
They prepare us to be good teammates,
friends,
and people.
We face adversity together
and push through to reach our goals.
We may struggle,
but we will never give up.
Because today,
because today,
tomorrow, forever.
We're Darlington Tigers.
A lot of them tonight, that's for sure.
All right, we're back real quick one more time so that we can award the Honeymoon Bakery Icing on the Cake Player of the Game. Big night for Darlington. They win 41-9. Your final score, go up 2-0 on the season as they get ready for a road trip against a very, very good Heard County team that also won tonight, went up 3-0 for the season, won a state championship in AA a couple of years ago, and has just had a very, very successful football program. So Coach Atha and his team, they know what they're up against next week, and they're going to put in a lot of preparation this week. They'll be ready to roll, and it's going to be interesting to see when they go up an opponent like Heard County, how they respond, because they're going to see adversity in that game that they have not seen in this first two, and it's going to be a very talented, well-coached team. So I'm really excited about that matchup.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how this team responds to adversity, because they have been able to get out to big leads early in these first two games. And next week they're going to face it in some form or fashion. So that'll tell us a lot about how things will go from here. But a great performance tonight for the Tigers.
Well, I'm going to let you have the honors for the Honeymoon Bakery Icing on the Cake Player of the Game. And when you go back and look at all the things that transpired in the game, Ian, pretty clear choice tonight.
Yeah, it really was. There were a lot of players that contributed and played well. But Patrick Shelley is going to be our Honeymoon Bakery Icing on the Cake Player of the Game tonight. He opened the game up with a great, 55-yard touchdown run?
I thought it was 46.
Maybe, okay. So it was a long one. And he was able to take contact, break free, and open the game up with a bang. He also threw for a 41-yard touchdown pass to Thomas Speed. He spread the ball around to 6 or 7 different receivers, looked really comfortable in the pocket, and then on defense, where he plays free safety, he intercepted a 4th down pass there at the end of the first half when St. Francis was really trying to climb back in the game. It was a huge turnover. He juggled the ball and was able to catch it, get a foot down. So he ran for a touchdown. He threw for a touchdown. He was very poised in the pocket tonight, was a good leader, and he picked off a pass. Kind of hard not to give that guy the player of the game.
Definitely. He earned the heck out of his gift certificate from Honeymoon Bakery. So congratulations to Patrick Shelley, and congratulations to the Darlington Tigers for a big win tonight. And Tommy Atha picks up his 152nd win of his career. And so just an excellent night here at Chris Hunter Stadium by the Lakeside. And we're going to keep it real short here for our post game, because we're already into the time of the Rome Orthopedic Center High School Football Scoreboard Show. But a fun night tonight. Hope you enjoyed our broadcast, whether you're listening on the radio or watching on the video stream. And we will be with you next weekend on Friday evening from Franklin, Georgia at Heard County, as we get ready for a big matchup between two undefeated teams. Just both very well coached teams. This has the making of a special night on the gridiron. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, next week's going to be a lot of fun as Darlington takes on their first real test of the 2020 season. But they're building momentum. We'll see if they can cash in next week on the road.
Well, that's going to put a wrap on our broadcast tonight here from Chris Hunter Stadium. Darlington the winner, 41-6 again over St. Francis, 2-0 for the season. Can't get any better than that at this point. We've got 2 games in the books, getting ready for the 3rd next week. We're going to wrap things up here on WLAQ. For Ian Griffin, great job as always, man. Always fun to work with you on these games. For Lynn Butler back at the studio, I'm Matt Davis. saying have a great night, everybody. Stay safe, and we'll talk to you again coming up next week. Let's send it back to the studio for the Rome Orthopedic Center High School Football Scoreboard Show with Randy Davis and Lynn Butler. Take it away, guys.